Let's get sweaty.
Hello and welcome to the Shenmue Dojo Show Season 3 Episode 5. I am Skill Jim and I'm joined as ever by Mr. 2-Hour Headphones Browser, Matthew Oliver. How's it going, man?
Yeah, good man, you alright?
I'm doing well, thanks mate. You ready to dive into a good history discussion today?
Yeah, this one's going to be, it's probably going to span 2 if not 3 episodes, isn't it? I'm looking forward to this. There's going to be some real nostalgia around the Kickstarter, the updates, and what the journey we went on, I guess.
Pretty much, man, because there was, believe it or not, despite people complaining about lack of communication or whatever, and there was a little bit of lack of communication in places, but there's 134 updates that were part of the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter, so that was like throughout a 4-year period from like 2015 to 2019, so obviously they kept updating us over the months or whatever until it actually got released. But yeah, expecting to probably split this into a couple of parts, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And when you think of 134 updates, that's not including any of the messages that fans sent them that they replied to as well. So
that's true. We can't go through all that.
Bucket load of stuff.
Yeah,
I've got loads of them kicking around from Joel back in the day.
What replies to you?
Yeah, like things that have popped up or whatnot. He was always very good, actually, at coming back certainly to me, and I imagine it was reflected with other fans. I think given everything, we can be critical of some of it, sure, and we will be. I'm pretty sure we will be, but
yeah,
I think generally they were pretty good, and Joel was very accessible point for the community, and still is, in fairness to him.
Definitely like a good spokesperson for the whole Shenmue 3 project. Like maybe like when he split away from the Awesome Japan stuff, like maybe that's what, did they split up or did Joel just sort of moved on to WiseNet?
Getting a job at WiseNet so he must have left Awesome Japan for WiseNet, and I think actually I don't know when that happened or whatnot, but I think, and I'm just guessing here, I feel like the shackles were let off a little bit, and Joel's personality came through as well a little bit more with the updates and how he was handling things, and I felt it changed for the better in that regard.
And you've got to think, man, this is like a 4-year relationship as well, from massive. 2015 to 2019. So if you think if you've had a job in your life that's like lasted for a couple of years, by that second year, how much more confident you are as a person working in that environment than, you know what I mean? Definitely. So 4 years on, and now all the way in 2023, because he's still there. So what is that? That's like 8 years. So he's got like 8 years working for Yu Suzuki in a sense on his CV.
Which is madness. And I've never met Joel in person, but if I ever do, I owe him about 15, 16 beers, I reckon.
I think we all owe him a beer. So it's probably not healthy to drink that much beer, actually, Joel.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, we won't have that all in one go. Right, but Matt, before all that, the show that we've got planned there, we're going to quickly run through the latest news headlines. Quite a jam-packed one today. Let's try and nail this as fast as we can, okay?
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
So first up, we did announce it the other day. This is coming from Team Wulinshu, obviously the forklift racer. They've been touting for a couple of months now. It's been really quick, to be honest, as a game creation can be. But this is going to be released very soon, right?
Yeah, July 16th is what they've said on Twitter. The Steam page says the 17th. I mean, it might just be time differences, in fairness. But it will be out by the time this show airs. All being well and barring any last minute or hitches or hiccups, it should be out for everybody to play. I'll have full online mode. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on the finished product. I mean, we've been lucky. We've been testing it a bit, and it's come on leaps and bounds from where they started. I think they've done a really good job here.
Yeah, same man. And I think they're still going to obviously improve it and, you know, work on hopefully more tracks and that sort of stuff for the future as well. Keep it like an ongoing online series. Well, not a series, but an online game that we can all enjoy. You know, up to 8 players. Might be nice to get some Shenmue fans together for a bit of a community lap around the harbour. Yeah. So yeah, look forward to that very, very soon. Probably, obviously, by the time the show goes out, it's probably even released, so you'll know how good of a game it is by the time that you actually hear this show. Next up, we've got a brand new interview from Yu Suzuki. This was part of the Virtua Fighter soundtrack from Cartridge Thunder, and Stuart Peacock actually helped me transcribe sort of the liner notes that were inside this booklet that's included with the vinyl, and we've put that on the Shenmue Dojo website. It's one of the more recent news posts, so if you're hearing this now and you're interested in reading that interview with Yu Suzuki, it's mainly focused on Virtua Fighter, of course, but you can find that over on our website. Just look through some of the recent news. Depending on when you're listening to this, it could be like 3 or 4 news items into whatever's on the homepage currently. But really fantastic interview. Always does great interviews, actually, Yu Suzuki does. He's either like a one-word reply guy or he goes in great detail.
There's no in between, is there?
No in between, no. But it's a really great interview. It's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of Yu Suzuki or Virtua Fighter. Next up, Matt, quite a lot of news regarding Air Twister since probably when we last spoke about it on the show. I think we were talking about it as an app the last time we spoke about Air Twister on the show. But what is going on with Air Twister now?
Well, all hell's broken loose is the term. So Air Twister obviously has been announced now to be coming out on consoles. So that's PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox, PC and Nintendo Switch. It releases on November the 10th worldwide. On top of that, you're going to be getting obviously your standard editions, and there is currently, certainly in Japan, and I'm anticipating it will come west, is a collector's edition as well, where you get a load of varying goodies. You get the soundtrack, you get a signed print, and some other bits and pieces as well. It's being published by a company called In Games, who also do a lot of their collector's items through Strictly Limited in the UK. I have heard of them before. They've been around a little while and work with, I think it's Taito and a few other companies as well. But it sort of, this came out of, well, we thought it was coming because it got rated in Germany and Korea about 10 days before. And then all of a sudden on the 4th of July, Shenmue Day, of course, all hell broke loose.
And you weren't available, were you, much that day?
I was in and out of meetings all day. So literally, you were picking things up as you could. I was picking things up between meetings. Like, going, oh shit, need to post that, get that out. Absolute insanity. And we streamed that night.
It was just crazy. The 4th are always crazy. It seems like all these companies sort of hold back for the 4th, don't they, for some reason? Well, obviously we know why, but it's just hard to keep on top of the 4th.
Absolutely
we've done it to ourselves.
Yeah, we have a little bit. So Air Twister, by the time the show airs, it will be available for pre-order in the West. The pre-orders are currently open in Japan. Little note, the Switch version sold out on Amazon UK at the time of this recording, which was quite impressive. So hopefully I get more stock in. I imagine other places will stock it as well, and in-games have their own store. So there we go. I'm looking forward to getting it and actually being able to save my progress, which would be really nice.
Yay. I'm looking forward to it again, actually, as a bit of a console sort of player. It would be good to actually just sit down with the controller and actually play it again through properly. Obviously, I pretty much nailed it on the phone. I completed as much as I could actually do at the time, apart from that one where it was like, I think you've got to complete the whole game without getting hit or without dying or something, which is
bloody hell,
almost impossible. That was the one thing I couldn't do, but other than that, I'm looking forward to playing it when it releases in November. Again, another thing that we spoke of a while ago that we haven't updated since is the Empire Top 100, Matt. So you were talking about this. This was like obviously it's a magazine publication called Empire. And I don't know when it was, but a few years ago, was it? They did a top 100 or even longer than that?
Yeah, it's about 10 years ago they did this. And Shenmue at the time came in at number 7, which was really, really high. And I think given the time, I'm not surprised by this. They've redone it, looking at it again with a fresh lens. And also there's been a lot of game titles come through at that point. It's come in a respectable number 41 this time, which I do think is really, really good. The fact it still made the list, I think, is testament to the community being able to band together and get it in there. I think it's deserving of its place, probably higher than that, quite frankly, when you look at some of the titles that are ahead of it.
Yeah, but when you look at some of the ones that it actually beat as well, it was a bit of a strange list. It's like quite a modern gamer focused list, because obviously you've got
definitely.
Fortnite, games like Fortnite in the top 100, which shouldn't be there, of course. When you're talking about the very best games of all time. I mean objectively, some people are going to think that Fortnite is,
and that's obviously their opinion on it. I think for me, like games, and maybe we're coming at it from a different angle, in that we grew up when games were being massively innovative, creative, pushing boundaries, whereas I think now games don't do that so much, and there's always going to be an element of recency bias in polls like these. It's just inevitable, and quite frankly, over the years, my top 10 list of games that I'd consider the best ever have probably changed, so it's no different here, really. Shenmue's in there, it's good publicity for it, and I'm pleased that it gets the recognition that it deserves, and like I say, probably could be higher and should be higher, but it's there. We did a good job, and hats off to everybody, and it's another notch in favour of Shenmue going forward.
Yeah, and hopefully people look at that list and like, well, what's the Shenmue?
Yeah.
It's number 41, it's quite highly rated, we'll check it out. Hopefully we get a few more fans on board because of that, you never know.
We'll see.
Next up, TerraPlayer. Matt, this is a brand new audio/radio sort of player for playing like podcasts and live radio stations. This is coming from the fine folk over at Radio Sega, sort of a joint thing. I think some of the people that work and do stuff for Radio Sega have actually got together and built this player called TerraPlayer, and it's fantastic, to be honest. If you go on the website, it's very slick, very stylish. Apart from these podcast catchers that you're probably used to on your phone and mobile devices or whatever, wherever you listen to podcasts, it's probably the next best thing, because you can include live stations in there as well. So obviously Radio Sega is a live radio station that's always active 24/7. It plays non-stop Sega music, of course, but then occasionally it'll play a live hosted show, Casey's Sega Lounge, or one of the other fine people that work for Radio Sega put the time and effort into a live recording there, so you can actually check it out rather easily on TerraPlayer, because I was finding the Radio Sega website was a little bit outdated. I found in terms of like the options there to actually play Radio Sega may not have been up to par with modern standards, but TerraPlayer is like future proof by a long shot.
I think you've probably spent more time with it than I have, but I think it's a damn good piece of kit. I think it's the work that's gone into it. You can see, and the product at the end of it. I say product because it's free. You can access it at your own leisure. But I think like you say, this Radio Sega website did need updating in terms of accessing the shows and the live feeds, etc. And this absolutely smashes the brief. And James, you obviously will join me in saying this. Radio Sega have done a lot for the Dojo podcast. It was the bloody reason we got started in the first place with going on Casey's show. So I have a lot of time for Radio Sega and the work they do over there in sort of promoting Sega music, Sega history, and all the variety of shows over there. And I think this is a really good move for them. And I'm pleased to see it seems from sort of the reactions publicly to have been received really, really well. Yeah,
definitely. And obviously Radio Sega still play our shows live every other Monday, I think it is.
Yeah.
And TerraPlayer is no different. You can actually access, as though it was a podcast catch, you can access all of our shows. And one of the really cool features of TerraPlayer is actually segments the episode out into chapters as well. So like I tend to put timestamps in our YouTube video content and then leave them in the descriptions of the shows, and actually that's kind of helped in terms of TerraPlayer, because it's actually picked up those timestamps and segmented out the sections of the show, like the news section or the main feature or the music bits. So really cool. If you want to play around with TerraPlayer, I would highly recommend doing so. Definitely. As a form of playing podcasts and stuff. Gamer's Journey Map, it's streaming.
It is.
Obviously we've got our Blu-rays in-house now. I think last time we were saying that they were on the way to people across the world. Pretty sure most people have got them now. Maybe about 80% of the people have got the Blu-rays. And if you were interested in The Gamer's Journey, which is the Shenmue documentary from Adam Scipione, It's now available to stream on a variety of platforms. Matt, have you got the list?
I do, and you. Before I go through the list, if you don't check this out, guys, as Shenmue fans, you're absolutely insane. It's really, really good, and we did a review of it as well, and James and I were both very, very impressed with it and gave it a 9 out of 10. So that's how good it is, guys. If you're debating checking this out, don't debate it, do it. So where you can find it, so currently on the platforms in North America and United Kingdom at the moment, you can get it on Apple TV, Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, Microsoft Store, and Vimeo. They're all available at a sort of a varying level of prices, anything between sort of £5 to £10. You can rent and buy them. If you're buying it, you're probably going to pay between sort of £7 and £10. If you're renting it, it's between sort of £4 to £5.50. The rest of the world at the moment, it's currently available on Vimeo, and I understand there will be other streaming platforms picking this up for other countries as well. So we'll update the list as and when that comes through. If you are after physical copies, Adam has said that once shipping has finished, and like James said, we're about 80% of the way through this now. There will be some available to buy through Adam once they've finished the Kickstarter shipping. So keep your eyes out on their Twitter pages. Keep the eye out on the dojo as well, because we'll certainly tweet about it when this thing comes through. So if you want a physical copy, there are going to be a few left, so you haven't quite missed out yet if you didn't back the Kickstarter.
Very good, very good. Definitely check that out, guys. And after you've checked it out, like Matt said, you can check out our review bonus show that we recorded and released. It's on YouTube. It is available on your podcast catcher, but I'm not quite sure how, actually, because I know there's a Spotify sort of subscriber. What is it? I think it's Spotify for podcasts.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they basically automatically enrolled us into this thing where you can pick certain shows as sort of a paid subscription for people that are fans of your show. So if you are a fan of the Shenmue Dojo Show podcast, we've put all of our bonus shows that we've recorded. They are freely and available on YouTube, but if you like listening to them through Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, you may have to sort of go through this sort of a premium service to have access to them, which is just only if you want to support that sort of thing. But like I say, they are readily available on YouTube if you missed that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not a hard push on something. I mean, we might put the odd bit of content on there to maybe encourage people through it, but it will be available on YouTube free for everybody anyway. So don't panic if you're not interested in that sort of thing. And quite honestly, being transparent, the money goes to running the site, because we pay for the site and all the bits and pieces out of our own pockets. We're not pocketing the money. It's not going towards Ferraris or scams or cryptocurrency yet. But
a Ferrari.
But no, it goes towards the site costs, guys. And it keeps things going for us. It's like a Twitch subscription or YouTube subscription or something like that, which people kindly do for us, and it helps pay for the site. So it's no different to that, really. Completely optional, will not affect the content that you access through YouTube or basically. So if you're not interested, then fine, but if you are, then thank you very much.
Exactly that. We never ask for money, do we? So it is just an extra little thing there if you want to support the dojo. Like Matt says, all of the money goes back into the site maintenance and all the costs that we've sort of forked out over the years. Quite a hefty bill, that, but
I dread to think
what we do, innit?
That's what you do. It's what you do for Shenmue.
Giveaways and postage and all that sort of stuff, but that's what we do. And hopefully that you appreciate that, guys, as well, which is it's nice to give back to the Shenmue community as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's why we do it.
Yeah. Right then, so I think that clears up this little bit of news segment there, Matt. So we're going to get stuck into the main discussion right now, and that is after a nice musical break. So I've picked the Kickstarter theme. If you recall, we actually did an episode on the Kickstarter page a while back, and we probably played this theme then, but when we were looking through the Kickstarter page, this is the music that plays. Where did this music play, actually?
It was a clinic in NIAOWU somewhere, wasn't it? I can't remember the name of it, but it ended up in a random...
On the Kickstarter, where did it play? Was it on a website? Shenmue 3 website?
I thought it was on the Shenmue 3 website. It may be in a video somewhere, but I could be making that up. We'll find out in a minute.
Maybe so. But yeah, like Matt says, it's called NIAOWU Clinic. Welcome back. That was NIAOWU Clinic, played in Shenmue 3 in that random store at the very top of, what is it, like just next to New Paradise? Is it still the Promenade?
Promenade.
Just before that slow walking table section. There's like a clinic on the left, isn't there? And that's where it plays for some reason. It's a really great piece of music as well, so it's a shame it's in there, I think, because it could have cutscene worthy.
Definitely.
So we're going to get stuck into the main discussion. Like I just said, we're not going to go through all of the Kickstarter page. We did that actually. Can you believe it, Matt? Season 1, Episode 2.
Really?
That's when we went through the Kickstarter page.
Wow.
Our second show.
Damn.
Believe it or not. I couldn't believe it when I checked either.
Wow.
It doesn't feel that long ago, does it?
No, it doesn't. Bloody hell.
Apparently so, yeah. So if you haven't heard that, that's where you'll find that. Season 1, Episode 2. So for this show, we're going to go through the Kickstarter updates, all 134 of them. We're probably going to have to split it though, like we said, but we're going to start from the very bottom. Takes a lot of scrolling to get down there to update 1. Got to keep clicking like load more actually to keep loading these Kickstarter updates. So hopefully nothing breaks on us.
No, I'm glad I did this pre-recording.
Yeah, same. We've already prepared so we can get stuck in. A small disclaimer here, however. I don't know about you, Matt, but I haven't read through any of these updates, probably like 99% of these updates, probably since they were actually released.
No, I haven't
either. I think it's going to be quite an experience seeing what was actually said.
Yeah.
See if there's anything like, some sort of behind the scenes video footage, which we'll watch again, actually, if there is. Maybe some promised gameplay elements that never materialized.
Oh, yeah.
Screenshots, things that never came to be, I reckon. So, like I say, we're going to go into this blind and see what we discover, and hopefully you enjoy this together, guys, and exploring and discovering again together if you haven't checked these updates out either since all the way back in 2015, man.
Madness, isn't it? Absolute madness.
So do you want to start with update 1, Matt?
Yeah.
And we'll go back and forth, take a crack on an update each until we sort of reach a natural break.
Yeah, okay, let's get myself set and ready. So, update number 1, hashtag save Shenmue. This is a very, very short update, truth be told. It's essentially going, yes, can you believe it? Shenmue 3 Kickstarter is here. It's not fake, it's real. And basically saying fans have called for this day and the time has finally come. They're giving a shout out to the Shenmue community, to say thank you for all the work that's gone behind the scenes to get to the point there. They then sort of go into talking about helping Yu Suzuki to give us the full Shenmue experience that we've dreamed of, and then basically saying share the project to anyone and everyone that you can. And the fight starts now. It's very much a short update, an introductory update, and then it has like the at the bottom of the update, you've got the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter icons for Facebook and Twitter, which if we haven't got them, I'm gonna have to download them and chuck them on our media section.
Yeah, actually, I think there might be a Shenmue 3 Kickstarter image gallery.
So they're quite nice little images actually, with the old random Shenmue writing that wasn't there. Yeah,
well, that what was that font called? I can't remember, but Papaya was it? Something
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah. So that one,
Papaya.
Yeah, that was there. So there we are. That's update 1 in a nutshell. It's just a summary of the chaos that ensued following E3 2015.
Yeah, crazy. So is that date that the Kickstarter started, June the 15th, and this update is June the 16th?
Yeah, so it's like a few hours later, basically. Just they sort of whack this out as a quick, hello, we're here, thank you, and let's get cracking.
I quite like that Shenmue model, actually, even though it was the very first.
I don't mind it,
It's not too bad, is it?
That's all right.
It's not too bad at all. Seeing her original clothing then. I noticed some of the wording. Obviously, you didn't read the update word for word, Matt, but some of the obviously they got mentioned in sailors and
it's very much geared towards us, isn't it? Which you'd expect that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Right, moving on to update 2 then. So this is entitled Keep Those You Love. And again, it seems to be an update on the same day because it says June the 16th. And it's calling for what it seems like fans around the world. It says, thanks so much to everyone. You have spoken and the message has been heard loud and clear. We want Shenmue. So this is actually, just reading this now, this is when they reached the funding goal of 2 million. So if you remember the Kickstarter, the goal basically to get the game made was 2 million, wasn't it? Like the minimum.
Yeah.
So again, day one, we hit the goal. And obviously, they probably didn't know then, but it was a Guinness World Record, wasn't it?
It was a matter of hours, wasn't it? It was rapid.
Rapid, mate, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
unbelievable.
the
Unbelievable.
quickest funding to 2 million, I think, right?
Yeah, and 1 million, I think, as well. It was, yeah,
Yeah.
it broke all sorts of records, this Kickstarter. Absolute
I
insanity.
wonder if this surprised them as well, because it's saying here that we've got stretch goals all lined up to make this truly the best Shenmue yet. So I wonder if they were kind of like panicking, like, bloody Alice has gone quicker than I thought. We're going to have to sort those stretch
Possibly.
goals out already, maybe.
Possibly. I do like where it says keep the forklift trucking along. That's quite funny.
Trucking along. Yeah. It says, let's keep it up and make this moment the Shenmue moment. And then there's some kanji there, which says, keep those you love. And thank you for all your comments. Too many we can't keep up. So if you have any questions concerning Shenmue 3, we ask that you direct your question to us by sending a message, and we'll do our absolute best to get back to you. Thanks again. Lots more Shenmue coming up. So let's keep this reunion party going and bring everyone you know. And obviously, like Matt says, there's loads of comments per update here. There's 159 comments just for that little short message, which I'm assuming is everyone elated at the fact that the game's going to get made, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to read the comments because Kickstarter comments are a bit of a trash heap sometimes, but yeah, it's
I reckon update 2 they'd be okay.
Yeah, well, you'd think so, but it's absolute insanity. And like I said at the top of the show, the amount of messages they've got to reply to on top of these updates, bear in mind, is crazy. So I think they do deserve a tip of the hat for some of that, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Right. Update number 3. So we then move on to the update 3, which is the title, You Need Shenmue. Shenmue Needs You. So this is day 2 of the Kickstarter now. So we've had 3 updates already.
I'm just thinking, is that title that, where there's the American guy pointing
it's exactly
on the
that. It's exactly that.
Got you.
I'm going to paraphrase it more than anything else. They talk about having an amazing first day. It's only just sort of got underway with lots of stops on the way here. They've got lots of things to celebrate. They're talking about polls and game development info and lots more to go. Obviously, they don't want to spoil all the surprises. To kick off the update galore, they have got Ryan Payton. They've got a 5-minute video here with Ryan, which we'll watch through in a minute. He's founder of Camouflage and did his own Kickstarter with Republic, and he was one of the big driving forces of getting this Kickstarter going. He convinced Yu Suzuki that this could work on Kickstarter. So we have a lot to thank Ryan for at this point. We really, really do. And
definitely.
And the video here is Ryan talking about the Kickstarter itself and how it all sort of came to be. So if we want to watch it.
Yeah, definitely, man. So just out of interest then, with you saying that they've got all these things to come, obviously a lot of planning has gone into the Kickstarter. These videos have already been created in lieu, the things are set ready to go for particular days. I'm guessing this was June the 17th. So it was only the second day and they're already coming out with the Ryan Payton video. I'm assuming all of the other videos that we got throughout the Kickstarter of 30 days at least, maybe they worked on videos after that, but there seems to be quite planned according, maybe?
Yeah. I would say they had this all sort of lined up and ready.
Okay, man. So I've got the video full screened and just
full screened. I'm ready.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, a little bit of buffering.
Hi, my name is Ryan Payton, and I'm a designer at a company I started called Camouflage in Seattle, Washington. Before that, I was working at Microsoft on the Halo series, and then
there he is with Yu Suzuki.
Living in Japan, working on Metal Gear Solid, specifically Metal Gear Solid 4 with that team.
So this is 2015.
5 years, so it's been a good ride, and just really excited to see what happens next with us.
Lasting Shenmue impressions. So March the 6th, 2015.
For me, Shenmue is one of those seminal games in my life, right? One of the games that really changed the way I thought about the game industry, what I want to do in the future. Specifically, when the first Shenmue came out, I imported it from Japan, and I was a college student at the time studying Japanese. So I ended up using Shenmue as a Japanese learning tool from my college dorm room in the Seattle area. And so I was able to learn lots of interesting words via Shenmue. I remember specifically, like a lot of the characters were using like this term like a kashira, and I was always curious, like what does that actually mean? But it really just brought me back to my time as an exchange student living in Japan. That was in the 90s, but even the architecture is very similar, even though the game is set in the 80s. So even just walking around those towns in Shenmue just really brought me back to, when I was, a high school student, visiting Japan for fun. The way that the Japanese have their last names, right in front of their houses on the street and things like that. All the details and stuff like that just really made me think about, wow, it's amazing how far games have come. It's amazing how immersive this game is. Most creators, wouldn't, or studios would never go to the bother with this kind of details that Yu Suzuki and his team put into the game, and that really just left a lasting impression on me. Other kind of interesting, memories when it comes to Shenmue is, playing it, in Japanese, really getting that full experience, and then playing into English and seeing like how it was translated, seeing the different things that, what English and having a full understanding of the story, what it brought to me. And it really just got me hooked in terms of I want to know what happened next. So when we saw that Shenmue 2 was coming out, really got excited. And I'm just a fan, personally, I'm just a huge fan of really epic, big things. When you look at my favorite games of all time, whether it's Metal Gear or Halo, those are the games that I love. I'd love to be kind of associated with. And so the scope and scale of this multi-chapter universe that I had read in these magazines, these Dreamcast magazines, about what Yu Suzuki was creating was just so inspiring to me. And when it comes to, for example, when it comes to Shenmue 2, again, importing it from Japan, I couldn't wait until it was translated into English. And just seeing, again, even the larger scope and scale of the game, set in Hong Kong and Aberdeen. But what I really, really liked about that game was, one, that the focus of the story seemed to be
He's
really
selling this, isn't he?
More
Really well.
importantly,
Definitely.
I consider the 4th disc of Shenmue 2 to be
Really
one of the
inspired
greatest
by it,
video
really.
game experiences of all time. And I'm sad that I think not as many people played it as it deserved to be played. Seeing it's the final disc of the game, it's near the end of the game. That's when you're going to the forest of Shenhua. And you're just out there helping deer and being in nature, and it's just such an interesting, strange experience, I think, coming from, when you mostly are playing video games, you're just very busy shooting things or scoring basketball hoops or touchdowns or whatever, but just walking and having a nature tour with these two characters that you care about, to me was just such a impactful experience. It really made me think about what's possible with video games and storytelling. So for hardcore gamers like myself, especially back in the 90s, your main source of information was not so much online, it was these magazines, right? So Dreamcast magazine and EGM and all these different magazines was my central source to find out what is actually, what's coming, what's new, what kind of Dreamcast game can I look forward to. And when I first heard about what Yu Suzuki was doing, that it was before I even think they had the project name, the Project Berkeley. It was just labeled as a
Easy
virtual
mistake.
fighter RPG.
Yeah.
And to me, that instantly hooked me, because I like fighting games, but I'm much more about story and the fusion of game design and story. And so when I heard about and I read about the ambition of the title, I was instantly hooked. I wanted to know more about it, and that to me, more so than racing or fighting, that was the game that I really wanted to see what Yu Suzuki was going to do. So because the game is of such great scope and scale, it obviously took a long time for the game to come together. And one of the avenues they took to get people, ready for the experience was this disc called What's Shenmue, and checking that out was also just it just whetted my appetite even more about that. Again, just the scope of what they're looking to build just seemed unreal to me at the time. And even looking back and going back and playing the game, it's still ridiculous what they ended up building. Again, the attention to detail and everything. So I just have the utmost respect for, I think, what Yu Suzuki and the team was looking to do. And the influence of the game, I think, is very clear when you look at where games are right now in 2015. And I look at it as one of those projects that just really touched me on a personal level and really inspired me to want to make a career out of something in the game industry.
It's good.
It's insane, isn't it, that he's taken that on? And I've had the pleasure of talking to Ryan on the show. It was one of the first interviews I ever did, and he is at heart a big Shenmue fan, and it's inspired his entire career. And he actually sold the series really, really, really well in that 5-minute video.
He did. Yeah, I'm trying to think on the main Kickstarter page. What was the video trailer? Was it Yu Suzuki?
It would have been going with
X22, right?
where they sort of had the banners with the characters coming up and all of that.
Yeah.
whereas this is sort of the nitty gritty stuff, isn't it? That I think
So this
probably
is like the first selling video of the Kickstarter campaign.
Outside of the main trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
very good.
I
He
think
got some really good points.
Really good. He did, and I thought he sold the series very, very well. But that's update number 3. Very brief update, obviously, apart from the video. So then that takes us straight into update number 4.
Right, which is a thank you actually to Ryan. Yeah,
it is indeed.
So again, what's this? The same day I'm looking at, June the 17th. So epic thanks to Ryan Payton for everything he's done for us and Shenmue. It was Ryan who really pushed Yusan to do a Kickstarter for Shenmue 3. His support and console have been instrumental in making the dream of Shenmue sequel a reality. So please give Ryan a big thank you. So maybe that's in spite of like people like actually saying, well, who's Ryan Payton? Maybe people were a little bit confused. Maybe not so well known at the time, but obviously is more these days. So his newest game, Republic, is now on sale on Steam. So yeah, that's crazy that was actually released at this time as well, Republic.
Yeah, which is absolute insanity. And when you think of Ryan's company now, Camouflage, they got taken over by Meta, who own Facebook, and they're working on VR projects for them now. And obviously did Iron Man VR, which was really successful, won a load of awards. This update probably doesn't do enough justice, I think, for how influential Ryan was in getting this thing off the ground. And I'd urge anybody actually to check out the first part of the interview I did with him to really get into the nitty gritty of how this thing came about, because it really is a lesson of convincing Yu Suzuki to go down this route. And without this, it wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened.
Fair play to Ryan.
Absolutely.
Greatest respect for him there. Which moves us into update 5, Matt, which is a day later, June the 18th.
It is, and do you know what? This is picking the pace up now. And as we said, like with update number 1 and 2, we're looking at. I think they were surprised how quickly this thing hit the target, because the stretch goals weren't out yet. So a few days later, they come out with this update to say, these are the stretch goals. And as you sort of move down here, you can see that some of the stretch goals have already been reached, like the 1 and 2 cinema shorts, which ended up being, I think, the catch-up video, which was very well done.
Is that what you thought they would be at the time?
I wasn't sure. I wondered whether it'd be like some in-game flashbacks, which we did get a couple of sort of stills in that regard as well, I guess. But I think that was very much a catch-up video, which is what we got.
Yep.
And then obviously the various languages, German, French, Spanish, and Italian. And then going further down, obviously then you got the ones that hadn't been reached at this point. So you got rapport system, skill tree, Baisha expanded, which obviously didn't happen.
It's all Baisha, that is, actually.
Yeah, and actually, it's early in the Kickstarter funding goals, Baisha, which suggested to me, at that point at least, it was going. And he did say this himself, that Baisha was going to be one of the main focuses of Shenmue 3. Obviously, that focus changed for whatever reason, but it does just show that I think it was going to be the main thing in Shenmue 3, and I don't know what happened to it. Obviously, I'd love a post-mortem on it, but that's a discussion for another day.
I reckon we will get more updates that talk about Baisha more as well.
Yeah, I hope so, and it's something I'm trying to push quite hard everywhere. And anybody who listens to me, I keep saying we want one, but it's whether we get one or not. So also this is only a selection of the stretch goals. There's more to come, and they'll keep adding them as Kickstarter funding keeps going. They talk about the rapport system, adding a depth of story, interactivity, and character development, which only Yu Suzuki can bring, which I think, with the conversation with Shenfar, we got an element of that. And we know in the game build that there was some of it there, but obviously it wasn't probably enacted the way they wanted to. The skill tree system, I didn't come across as a skill tree in the traditional RPG sense, but I see how it changed into the system we got in terms of training. And then they talk about the Baisha goals, the extra mini games, character system, character perspective system, etc., etc.
At this point, when you're reading these stretch goals, and this is the first glimpse of that there's even this thing called stretch goals, did that concern you? Did that worry you that perhaps, all of a sudden we need more money now, and this is like where we were sort of going out there and sort of saying like, we need to reach 5 million, and then they added more stretch goals, and we need to reach 8 million, and then he came out and said, at 10 million in this, and then did it worry you seeing this, like, as though like Shenmue won't be as great of a game unless the Kickstarter is well funded?
I mean, there was an element of that behind it, I guess, because they kept sort of coming out with these periodically, which I get because they obviously wanted to boost donations at certain points. Because with a Kickstarter, and you'll know this as well, James, from doing 2 of your own, is that the initial hit, like bam, you get a massive influx of donations. It tails off that middle section, and then in the closing week days, it goes mental again. So they obviously want to keep things going and keep momentum going, which I understand. But I can't help but feel that this should have been out there properly from day one, and that they knew what they were going to do. And it may have been I'm misremembering this, so I would sort of put a disclaimer on it. But had it been there in my mind, from what I remember at least, from day one, you'd also negated some of the press that came out going, Yu Suzuki wants more money, that sort of thing.
And this is obviously, it's just a Kickstarter thing to add stretch goals in it. That's what happens.
Which is quite normal for a Kickstarter to have stretch goals. A lot of them do. And I just, it was handled in an interesting way, is probably the way I'd put it. And they obviously had the overhanging noose of the budget situation, who was funding what, which is addressed in a later update, but we'll come to that when we get there.
As a Shenmue fan, seeing these stretch goals, it's like I want everything. if they say this is a thing that could be in the game, if you reach this, I'm like, we got to get that, we got to get that, we got to get that, we got to get that.
Yeah, absolutely. So sort of finishing the update, they talk about Baisha basically being the main thing that's being pushed at this point, and then it then talks about the messages and comments and FAQs, which I think is a copy and paste from the other one.
Could be, yeah.
So it's not a huge amount. So then that draws us into update 6.
Update 6. So again, June the 18th. So it's the same day. This update's entitled "And Shenmue 3 Begins," and it says, "Hello, Shenmuers. Thanks to everyone for backing, supporting, and getting the word out. Every retweet and repost will bring in more backers, and more backers means more Shenmue 3. It says, yes, we are at day 4 of the Kickstarter of the Shenmue of the Century, and today we have a special message from someone who has many of the attached to his name, Mark Cerny. If you've played video games before, you probably have played something Mark has either programmed, designed, produced, or directed. And he was the lead architect for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita 2. Mark was one of the first people to suggest to Yu Suzuki that you do a Kickstarter for Shenmue 3. That's interesting. So another person telling Yu Suzuki to go down the route. And it was Mark who then introduced Ryan Payton to Yu-san. There you go. That's how it started.
That was that.
And then there's a quote here.
Nice big photo.
Nice big photo. Then there's a quote that says, it's really exciting to see Yu Suzuki back hard at work in the universe of Shenmue. The first 2 titles innovated in so many ways. The combination of revolutionary cinematic experiences, deep world simulation, and fresh approaches to gameplay was truly memorable. And I can't wait to see how Shenmue 3 turns out. So yeah, just a very heartfelt message from Mark Cerny there. And then the update sort of just ends as a thanks to Mark. And it says, before we sign off for today, this Friday, Yu Suzuki will be on Reddit. This is where he started doing those Q&A things, isn't it? It says, ask him anything.
That was it.
AMA, that's it.
That was it. And then that happened. But yeah, we'll go into that. Might be a separate thing we go into.
And that must have been the next day, because it says, thank you again, everyone. See you on Reddit tomorrow.
It does. Yeah, it does actually, in fairness. It must have been the following day. So then we come on to update number 7.
Bloody hell.
Same day again. They're pumping it. They're earning their coin, aren't they? Here,
people are unbacking to stop getting email spam,
probably, or changing their backing depending on what comes through here. So this one's entitled "The Jacket and More." Ryo's jacket, the replica at the $3,000 tier. They created this reward due to a popular demand. If you're kicking yourself for missing the original, this is now your chance. It's not just a replica of the trademark leather jacket, it's Yu Suzuki approved replica of the jacket. So yeah, you're definitely going to want it. The jacket physical rewards are presented by Fangamer, so that's interesting actually. I didn't know Fangamer were involved that early on actually. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they took over all of the reward giving, basically, didn't they? In a sense.
Yeah, fulfillment. They did all the fulfillment and shipping, didn't they?
They were on board there, or it was initially just a jacket thing.
Well, it says physical rewards, so I'm assuming from that
they
were there from the offset. So there you go. I've learned something new there, which is interesting in itself. And then you've got a couple of photos here of someone modelling the jacket. I just have to say, it looked bloody good.
It's
actually.
good, mate.
It's a replica.
This is 2015, and obviously the the backers. I don't even know if they've still had the jackets, have they? That's like one of the last rewards that was. So,
I think they were shipping, weren't they, recently?
Yeah. So is this the jacket still, or what? Or is this a mock-up of the jacket that they were proposing?
I think this is like a mock-up of the jacket they ended up getting, looking at the photos. But I could
Just
be wrong.
interested. They're sort of showing it here as though they've got them made. And obviously,
which
it
obviously
was the longest item to get made, but
quite there. It's a cheesy size. We'll ask you for your size in the survey later on. We'll include the $500 reward.
Yeah.
It does note it's a prototype. The reward may vary, and that the reward will be added to the explanation reward list just a little bit. And then it actually talks about the high volume of messages they're getting: 10,000 messages and 4,000 comments. Absolute mental. And it says here that they're coming to Reddit again on the 19th of June at 9:30 Pacific. So you can ask the man anything you like. So yeah, it's a short but sweet update. But seeing that jacket was interesting, and then knowing that Fangamer were involved from the offset is something that I did not know.
I would love to get that jacket, but I could not. I mean, I already chucked a load of money at the Kickstarter at the time, but I could not.
I didn't have the money.
I couldn't fork out that much for a jacket, as much as I do want one.
No, I mean, I was single at the time, but I think my wife had killed me retrospectively, I reckon.
Didn't realise you were single, man. That's interesting.
Yeah, wait, God, yeah. When this Kickstarter happened, I was single. No way. Completely different set of circumstances to what it is now.
Crikey, there you go. That's how fast time moves, eh?
Bloody does. Absolutely does.
Right, so moving to update 8. This is called Your Daily Programming, and this is the following day, June the 19th. It says hello again. So this is the Shenmue Carnival. Apparently is in full swing now. Invite your friends to the party and keep sharing the news. Shout it from the streets to the mountains that Shenmue is back. It looks like we've got a video here with Tak Hirai, which is the creative director. A lot of these people, I'm not sure if they ended up continuing to work on the game or
Not everybody did they? There was a bit of controversy around some of that, and like the writers that were originally coming back didn't, and all the rest of it. So I'd be very interested to see what this video gives in terms of was it look like just them sort of going giving the nod to the project?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this video for years.
I think what got me was the wording. So when you saw like these people are on board and these people are part of the project and they've got the faces and the names, you assume that they would actually be working on the project. Whereas, like you say, it could just have been like, this is someone that worked on the previous installments in the Shenmue series and, they want to see it do well kind of a thing. So we'll look into this. So what's it say? So it says he was a key member of the team that made the series what it was, and his experience and familiarity with the code from the original series will be an invaluable resource in helping bring back the world we all know and love. So it does sound like he's going to help
it does,
somehow a little bit. Give a big round of applause for Tak as he talks about the trials and tribulations of programming for Shenmue 1 and 2 and expresses his hopes for where Shenmue 3 will be headed. All right, Matt, so let's full screen
Let's
this.
Get this full screen it. Okay, ready?
Yep, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Tak Hirai, lead programmer of Shenmue. About 5 years ago, I founded an independent development company called NIAOWU Incorporated.
Is this Joel?
Currently, most of my work is as a director and producer.
Actually. And Nilo were involved from the offset. I remember that.
One important
and
event
they are,
in 1995,
and they are recognised
when Shenmue was being developed, was the emergence of the internet with the introduction of Windows 95. There still wasn't much information out there to be had, and Shenmue faced a lot of new challenges as a game.
He's working on the Kickstarter trailer here, I think.
Talking about recent games from the development perspective, a lot of research goes into graphics, but Shenmue took on so many other challenges besides just that. With all the other R&D that was needed, it ended up making more of a 50-50 split. Now, 15 years later, there's one thing that Shenmue gave birth to that is still alive and kicking. That's the idea of an open world. Launching Shenmue in 1999 with the open world design, that was big. Probably the biggest achievement of our careers. Open world games didn't exist then, so there was nothing we could use as a reference.
Yeah.
Things like CPU management, graphic chip management, memory, read, write, it all had to be balanced out. and we had to do it on something like a trial and error basis.
I like the
So,
music.
for example,
Yeah, me too.
Chilling.
I wanted to increase the processing speed. So say Shenmue is running at a speed of 33 milliseconds. And then I got it from 35 milliseconds down to 26 milliseconds. A week later, of course, there were more resources to run, so it was back up at 35 again. I had to keep doing that back and forth over and over again. Then the memory would run out.
Optimizing.
That was a big part of it, this balancing act. In Chapter 2 of Shenmue 2, there was a scene where handcuffs are used. Such a program where two people are connected together by handcuffs was something new. The program would control the motion of the two things tethered together, and thus incorporate the physics of the two people pulling against each other. We also reproduced the weather for Yokosuka for a 2-year period.
It's really,
I
really
really
good.
had to wonder if that was the actual weather.
This is about the weather now.
Some of the forecasts were quite tricky. One day it would be clear, then rain, then snow, then clear again, then cloudy. This is how we replicated it, but I wondered to myself if people actually experienced the weather like that. But people said to me, wow, that's impressive. And I was so glad we were able to make it happen just like that. I really feel that it matters to do Shenmue 3 through crowdfunding. For those who have been truly waiting for this moment for the past 15 years, I think this is the best way to show how much they really want it. The biggest thing here is the QTE that Shenmue made famous.
Not sure.
Then there was the original battle system in Shenmue. I would like to integrate those two things and make something completely new. Should the budget allow, of course, but I think it would be great to make an all-new battle QTE.
You're saying.
Scrap the old QTE and the old battle system and making something original, something groundbreaking. I want this to be one interesting Shenmue experience.
I'm trying to think if they actually did do that. I mean, you've got the kind of like, the practicing when you're training with sparring with someone, you've got the thing and then it keeps popping up with the QTE as you're fighting. Kind of.
And so it's sort of there, isn't it? It's probably not quite as they potentially imagined, but that's again, it's quite interesting hearing that stuff, isn't it? And then it comes on to just before that, it talks about the Reddit AMA again at the bottom of that as well. So that sort of clears that one up nicely. So then
June the 20th now.
Yep. So we're into update number 9, and this is very much a very short one here, and it's literally that he's on Reddit soon. Couple of hours, 9:30 p.m. Pacific. Ask as many questions as possible. One question per post. Keep the answer short and sweet. A question rather. Upvote a question already posted. If it's similar to yours, you can ask in English or Japanese. And thank you for all your questions. I am going to try and open it.
Yeah, I might do actually. This was probably my very first experience with Reddit, to be honest. I was like, what is this?
I think it's, for years. Yeah. And then, in fact, Sheep's on here. The first question that pops up, Sheep is on here.
Can you edit the main post to include a link to the Kickstarter?
Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so I imagine, this must have... So these are all the questions that got put in. And there's quite a few here with replies and things that's been deleted. And
which ones Yu Suzuki replied to, can you see?
I don't know. I'm sort of going through them slowly. There's someone asking about Corey coming back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of comments here.
You might even see one from Matthew Kilpatrick's here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
There's loads here.
Can't see any replies from Yu Suzuki.
Esperel. It might be that they popped up in somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of questions here. I'm not going to spend too much more time on it.
Yeah, perhaps he didn't actually reply on this page. Maybe he picked them and then replied somewhere else.
Yeah, potentially answered them somewhere else. So yeah, it's quite a short update, but a very good one all the same.
We'll chuck the link to this Reddit, actually.
Yeah, chuck it. We can chuck it in the show notes, can't we?
If you want to check out this.
You can sort of explore it.
You can find Yu Suzuki's replies.
At your leisure. And then, funnily enough, there is a new link in update 10. for the Reddit posting.
So this is the proper one then, maybe.
So this might well be the proper one, and he'll try and answer the top questions populated. So let's have a quick scoot through. I may as well just, because it's just such a short update, I'll just pick it up and run with it.
Okay, so the top one there, Matt. Any possibility of a bicycle finally being added to Shenmue 3? And he says there is a 60 horsepower bike in Shenmue 1. For Shenmue 3, I was thinking about something with 1 horsepower. And that, actually thinking now, that is why we thought there was going to be horseback riding, right?
Yeah, partly. And then there's a few sort of comments around that, which are quite funny. I love the music from Shenmue. If anything, keep me thinking about Shenmue from time to time. These temperatures music. What was your favourite piece? He loves Shenmue and Shenhua themes, but the one really sticks is Tomato. Oh dear. Do you know what? This is quite cool reading some of this.
Can we expect more duck racing in Shenmue 3? That was the best Easter egg I've ever seen in another game, and he says, yeah, I would love it. But what did we actually get, though, in that sense? He just says, I love it, but we didn't actually get...
We didn't get a secret, but we got, like, the turtle racing, didn't we? The tortoise racing.
True, that's probably what he was teasing.
Interesting. Dude, Long Couch as well, like, it's been around for years. Some of these names as well, you see these names, and I go, bloody hell. Practicing moves, make a return with a free battle system. I want to do it. I'm not going to go through all of these question by question. There's loads of them, but we'll put the link in. And it's very, very interesting here.
I've always wondered, why did you set the game in the 1980s rather than present day? And Yu Suzuki says, I wanted to put forward the differences in culture and values between the two periods.
That's good. I'm going to pick one here. How accurately will Shenmue 3 be compared to the original vision of the game, or will there be major compromises? Yu Suzuki comes back and says there's a total of 11 chapters that make up the whole story. Over the past 14 years, I originally planned for there to be 4 or 5 games for the series, if at all possible. I would still like to realise the story of 11 chapters. So then, guys, Shenmue 3 ending the series. Yeah, okay.
But we always assumed it'd be a trilogy, right?
Yeah. Anyway, this is really good reading, guys. So we'll make sure the link's in the description so you can see it. But it's in terms of sort of history, that's really cool to see that Reddit AMA. Really cool. And very short and sweet update. So that takes us on, James, to update number 11.
Update number 11 now. So one more week closer to 3. Is the title of this one, and this was posted on June the 23rd, 2015. Greetings, Shenmue fans. It's been a very emotional week. Tears of joy have been shed, hugs and heartfelt stories have been shared, and shouts of expletive Shenmue reverberate from every corner of the internet. Your unwavering love and dedication has made this moment one to remember, a moment that will be forever remembered in the annals of gamingdom. Got to read that one right as well. Thanks again, everyone, for all of your support. Shenmue 3 is real and here for everyone to enjoy and be part of. We've got a lot of campaign left to make our dream and Yu Suzuki's vision even more perfected. So please keep on sharing. So messages and comments again. What's this? Something about lucky hit ball emotion. Just a way of saying that. Portuguese confirmed as a stretch goal. Interesting.
Yes.
And then we've got a couple of videos here, Matt. I think one of them's in English and one of them's Japanese. So we don't need to watch both, but we'll go for the English one.
Yes, it's the second one down, isn't it, with the English? Yeah,
I think it might be the first one, actually.
It's the first one. It is the first one, yeah. Let's full screen this then.
Yeah, so this is Meeting Rio. It says, we head into our second week, get ready to meet more members of the Shenmue team and hear about their experiences making Shenmue. All exclusive behind the scenes that you don't want to miss. So today we have Masaya Matsukaze, the actor who played and did the Japanese voicing for Rio. He speaks about his first encounters with Shenmue, the process involved in doing the motion capture acting, and gives a few pointers on the finer points of the Ryu Hazuki style. Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. There's always a little stutter in there. I don't know if you got that.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah,
it's been a while. I'm Masaya Matsukaze, and I played Ryo Hazuki in Shenmue.
Forever youthful looking.
Yeah, bastard.
This was March the 25th.
I think it was the year after I did the superhero TV show, Super Sentai series. I got invited to the audition, but was told I couldn't be given any details.
Like, this is really nice.
This is interesting, yeah. No, you point that out.
And besides that, I had to bring my seal.
Not heard this
before. The one we use for our signatures here in Japan. And I thought, what's this all about? But it meant that anyone who couldn't sign off on this pre-audition contract was pretty much told to go home.
This is definitely a new piece of music.
So there in the green room were all these really famous actors. And everyone was signing and putting their seal on these contracts we were given beforehand. Then, the doors burst open, and there Yusan was. Looking back at how the audition started there, that was my first real step towards Shenmue.
Do you think they rented out this studio for these updates?
It was a first
Yeah,
for
he
me, of
must have
course,
done.
but I was told afterwards about just what we accomplished. I did the Japanese voice acting and dialogue for the main character and player, Yu Suzuki. I also did what was called the motion capture part for him as well. I'd already played in a superhero series and was an actor, so doing the movements, being filmed, and doing the lines came natural to me. But here, all of that was separated out, doing only certain parts. A motion capture actor, they said. I found out later that was actually close to being a worldwide first. So it was this learning process, performing at the forefront of this technology just coming into its own. It was really trying having to create a whole new world within that one screen. For example, the action scenes. When acting out a fight, I say this a lot, but when the camera films this way, you punch this way. So when the camera's filming this way, the fist overlaps your face, so you can't see the hit. Then, when the camera's filming this way now, you have to punch opposite where your fist overlaps again. But these contrivances fall apart here. Professional racers wear special pads that protect against spinal injury. We call them turtles. We put them on front and back so we can actually punch and kick each other for real. If we don't, it takes a lot of extra camera work afterwards,
Dreamcast
even if it
footage,
does
hasn't it?
come out. It
Yeah,
can't all be
it
done
is,
like
isn't
that.
it?
So for all the fighting, we
Whoever's
actually
playing
do
that
hit each other.
spamming elbow assault.
And when you have that exaggerated flyback, we'd have a rope tied to our waists. And we were actually kicked, and with about 10 guys then yanking you back together with that real
That's
reaction.
so cool, isn't it? That recoil.
This is really
what we did was
interesting.
sort of like wire work in Hong Kong movies for all the action
Yeah,
scenes.
I was thinking of that Hong Kong style filming.
Because it was done that way, even looking at it now, I still think it looks good. But it's dangerous making real contact. They'd say for the take, okay, this is the last one, you're really gonna hit him. And we'd really give it to each other.
That's
Even
how
now, I
things
think
look
why I'm
so
still
good
such
though
good
back in
friends
the
with
day,
the
wasn't
stunt
it?
crews because we beat each other up all
CG
the
doesn't really
time.
get that sort of
Besides
connection feeling.
No.
For instance, just to stand or to sit, I had to do all of those actions.
Motion
I'm
capture
going to
replay.
make a point about
example,
the motion capture
To stand.
here. Like, they had the benefit of having
And
a studio
to
with
stand
multiple
over
people to
this way.
mocap off of. They didn't have that for Shenmue 3.
Then to sit from this side.
So
and
in
to
terms
stand
of the
over
hit
this way.
detection and the hit mechanics and what you've got, you can see why it's
Open
different.
the door with your right
Is
hand.
this the Willy Wonka theme, by the
Open
way?
the door, step out.
But a
right
different
foot first.
version?
Open, step out.
It's very
left foot
close if it
first,
isn't.
like
No,
this.
it's not, but it's very close.
All like that. This is probably
It's
the most
NIAOWU.
recognizable action for
Oh,
everyone, I'm
people
sure.
coming and going.
Yeah.
I wonder how many there were just for the basic movements.
Different
It
version.
took a huge amount.
It's very nice.
More than 100 or 200. Like squatting down
The
for a
amount of
kitten.
music they've bloody got here. Like,
Now
just
maybe I should
whittling
squat
away.
down gentler. I remember deciding how they should be filmed with everyone. When doing the motion capture, I had to practice the actions with 13 sensors attached to me.
There you go, 13 cents as well.
For the
Wow.
action sequences, I really learned Wuxi Kaimen Baiji Quan. Yu
Okay.
Suzuki was supposed to do all of this without thinking, so it wasn't an option for me not to do it.
They actually got, was it the
If
Master
you're gonna
Wu
do it,
guy?
you better do it right. Everyone Yusan brought together were those types of people, so I became a student and practiced my heart out while I was here.
The Ryo Hazuki stance.
So here we have Ryo's stance. Ryo Hazuki was born into a dojo, and without even realizing it,
I love
naturally
this
learned
stuff. This is
Baiji Quan.
brilliant.
So for the
I
motion
forgot
capture,
that they had
we
all
were
these
actually
types of
taught
videos.
by
You
a
know.
Baiji Quan master.
He still knows it.
It's a cross between Baiji Quan's unique stance and how a regular person stands to fight. This Ryo Hazuki stance was put together with
Bloody
the
hell,
fight
he's got that
choreographer.
perfectly,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
hasn't he? Yeah.
When you move into it from your normal position,
Even in skinny tight jeans.
you go from here walking up, but when there's action, it makes for a quick drop to get into stance. So when you finish off the last guy, it's a simple return. You push the button forward to walk and off you go.
I love this stuff. This is like amazing. This is
that.
like really cool, isn't it? Like
We've
hearing
got that on Vault, right? That video.
Yeah, we've got all of that. I stole it all.
I love it.
I think most of it. I think most of it's uploaded. If it's not, it will be. But yeah, that's really really cool. And then just bloody brilliant, James. There's no other way I can describe. It's so interesting, as I was saying, with the mocap and how groundbreaking it was and what they threw at it. But for Shenmue 3, they had to do it literally in WiseNet, one person in a mocap suit, no hit detection, nothing like it. So they had to do all of that manually. So how labor intensive is that going to be?
Just shows the difference, man. Definitely.
Absolutely.
So obviously that was part one. They got to say part two of the interview will be coming up in the later campaign. But now they've got Shenmue 3 is now on Twitter. The official Shenmue 3 Twitter is now up at Shenmue_3. Some bastard must have stole Shenmue 3.
Yeah, probably.
But just having a quick look, and the last interaction was in 2021.
I've got to log into Twitter.
Actually, I haven't said that. There was a like on a Ezra post, June the 7th.
Okay.
Yeah, so tweets. The last tweet that they retweeted was February the 5th, 2021. The last media was April the 2nd, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
The last reply was the same February the 5th. And the last like, which strangely, because the one before that was that February the 5th, 2021, but strangely, they've liked Ezra's Mario at E3. Mario is also E3 2023, June the 7th. June the 7th.
Wow. Okay.
That's interesting, mate. Do you not think that's interesting that they haven't done anything with the Shenmue 3 account for 2 years?
It is.
And
I
then,
mean, they've probably just forgotten about it, haven't they?
6 weeks ago, they like an E3 tweet.
So random. So random that they've liked something
that recent.
Completely out of the Shenmue 4.
Is that a sign, guys, that something's happening?
Oh, dear.
Maybe not.
Right. So update number 12. Now, who is your favourite Shenmue character? So hello, backers. We have a special backer poll. I don't think I'll be able to open this, in fact, because I'm not logged into Kickstarter here, but I will try and drop it in if I can. Basically, who's your favourite Shenmue character? Top ranked character will get some VIP treatment in Shenmue 3. They might get an extended cutscene, a flashback sequence, or a cameo appearance. I think Chai won this, you know.
Oh, mate, is that why?
So it could easily be that.
This is June the 24th, by the way, so...
Yeah, so it's a way in at this point. It says, results will be announced here. The update page should stay front and center. I might be wrong. I could be making it up and the Chai didn't win it, but it just would make sense. More rewards, you say? So they're talking about there's demand for more rewards. So including the survey, there's a question for what you'd like to see added to the pledge list and what you'd like from Santa. Favorite mini game as well. And then who you vote for. So you've got a photo of Rio, Landy, Nozomi, Ren, Chai the bastard, Shenhua, Joy, and then that's
okay.
That's it. So it's a very, very, very short update in that regard.
So I clicked the link for the poll and it said it wasn't available anymore. So it must have died. Unless you can get it on the Wayback Machine somehow.
I'll have a go at it.
I'm sure they'll announce the character, won't they, in a future update. Interesting, though, that they're going to say that there's going to be an extra scene. So how would that have worked if Joy had won?
I don't know. Flashback, probably.
And I do remember at the time, a lot of people obviously avoided Rio because obviously you're going to get cutscenes of Rio. So why would you vote for Rio, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, was it mentioned at some point that Yu Suzuki was surprised, I think, by the winner, potentially?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, something like that. Update 13 now. Shenmue 3 funding and budget statement.
Here we go.
This is probably a little bit of backlash, was it, at this point? So June 25th year. So let's see how they word this, okay? So this is coming from Yu Suzuki. He's written this. It says at the bottom, sincerely, Yu Suzuki. So there has been many questions concerning Shenmue 3's budget and what outside sources will be added to the money collected through Kickstarter. I apologise for not having been more forthright in this area and would like to take this opportunity to help clarify the situation. So WiseNet and I have been putting in many long years trying to find a way to bring back a sequel that so many fans have waited so long for. After learning Kickstarter, I knew it would be possible to get Shenmue 3 started. Wanted to make the best game possible, I also knew that I would have to look to more traditional means to obtain the funds that would be needed to create the game that I had envisioned. Sony and Shibuya Productions have been wonderful partners because they believe in Shenmue and want to see the best for the fans and the game. Their investment in and support of Shenmue have helped to realise a sequel that will stand proud with its predecessors. While it is not business practice to discuss the specific details of such arrangements, I can say that with their assistance on the production and marketing end, and in Sony's case with some publishing support as well, WiseNet is able to use more of the money we collect through Kickstarter purely for Shenmue 3's development. It is also important to note that your funds are going strictly to WiseNet for development of Shenmue 3. Sony and Shibuya Productions are not seeing a cent of your Kickstarter dollars. That's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously that's Cedric Biscay's sort of corner there with Shibuya.
Yeah.
That just means the Kickstarter budget, though.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's interesting, that point before you read on, they're talking about the production side and publishing side. So I wonder if they got like dev kits for free, and some support that way. And obviously the publishing side at this point, they were probably going to publish through Sony's third-party team. So there would have been some support and funding for that. So what I guess they're saying is they're not directly funding development, but what they're doing is helping out with
aiding
bits and pieces. But yeah, anyway, carry on. I'll go on to my other point afterwards.
Yeah, so the outpouring support from all of you, the backers, has been so inspirational. I cannot thank you enough. Having reached our funding goal, I am excited to say that the Shenmue story will go on, and our journey with Ryo and Shenhua will continue. Fans will be able to enjoy the sequel that they waited so long for, and newcomers to the series will be introduced to a unique gaming experience. Of course, like with any Kickstarter, additional funding will only help us to make a better game. On top of everything, Shenmue 3 will already bring the stretch goals that I've laid out, will add extra quests, events, and new gameplay systems that will make the game even more immersive and take the series to the next level. At the 5 million mark, there will be an all-new gameplay feature that would be excited to be able to add to the Shenmue legacy. If we should make the 10 million stretch goal, a much larger, completely open world will be yours to explore. Even if these stretch goals are not reached, Shenmue 3 will already be a sequel true to its name and one we can all be proud of. It is my hope, though, that together we can make this Shenmue just as revolutionary as the first two were. I understand the statement may be late in coming. Going forward, we wish to be as open as possible concerning the game's development. I would like to again ask for your cooperation and support in helping make Shenmue 3 all the best that it can be. Interesting point there about the 10 million thing, because that was twisted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very much so, and the media ran away with that side of it. I mean, I'll be straight up and honest. This is something I did say when we reviewed the general Kickstarter and reaction to it at the time. This should have been there either from the offset or within hours of that goal being reached, because the moment that started hitting the press that Sony were supporting, the media ran away with it. Whereas had they had this from the offset, that wouldn't have been a problem. The media could try and surmise and guess and make things up, but it would have been in black and white here. And that
all
was
in hindsight, right? Yeah, it would have been nice.
Obviously, I'm saying this with hindsight, and hindsight's 20/20, isn't it? As the old saying goes. But yeah. I don't understand why they didn't. I guess it's probably because in business practice for gaming, you don't share this sort of detail. But here, I just think it would have been very much needed, and yeah, it would have helped. So if they did do a Kickstarter again, I would hope that statement would be there from the offset.
Yeah, I mean, if they could have envisioned the backlash they would have got, obviously they would have said, like, disclaimer, all the funding from this Kickstarter project has nothing to do with Sony or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
We just announced it on Sony's stage. That was like the extent of their cooperation at this point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so update 14. This is quite a short one, really, here. It's talking about Yu Suzuki being on Twitch. Now, this is the famous Twitch stream, if everybody remembers.
This is the one?
This is the one. This is the one. Joel has a laugh about this now, in fairness. So
that's one we should watch again, as an episode in itself.
Yeah, he was very nervous, and I can understand that. It's quite a big deal. So Yu Suzuki will be doing a Twitch stream on Friday, June 26th at 7 Pacific time, Saturday, 27th of June at 2 a.m. Do you know what? I watched this on the bus when I was pissed coming home from a night out. Yeah, I was on the bus on the way home, and I remember it, and I was watching it drunk.
There was loads of us that stayed up. I remember. I was one of them that stayed up to watch this.
And there's a photo of Yu Suzuki, and that's it. It's a very, very short update, and that takes us straight into update number 15. The plan.
So update 15, the plan. So another quite a short one, actually. So hello, backers and Shenmue fans. So what about those stretch goals? With all of your questions, we couldn't wait any longer. Without further ado, Yu Suzuki talks about stretch goals. So we've got a video here, Matt, actually. Ooh. So even though we've got a list that extends past the 5 million mark, let's watch this video of Yu Suzuki.
Okay.
Discussing him.
It won't let me full screen it. I think you have to play it.
There was an option to full screen as soon as I pressed play, but I couldn't get to it quick enough.
Okay. We might just have to watch it as it is.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch it as it is, which is fine.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Shenmue 3
and
the start of Ryo and Shenhua's new journey will take place among the beautiful scenery of China. 3 areas will make up the stretch goals: Baisha, Chobu, and Bailu Village.
So Baisha will show off what Shenmue 3 is all about. Live out a siege game reminiscent of the Warring Kingdoms. See which strategic will come out on top.
I've managed to full screen this.
Amidst the mystical scenery of the Wai River, Chobu lies and a watercolour painting come to life. The Portico will be filled with souvenir shops and hotels, shrines and village dwellings.
Pretty much what we got.
Expect to meet a sage master of the Nokwan there. Hopefully I'm not shouting this because it's... Shenmue 2 ends at Shenhua's house on the outskirts of Bailu Village. Bailu Village is waiting to be explored for real. Alright, there you go. Fucking hell. That was so loud, man. I couldn't hear myself think.
It's a nice little video, actually.
Really nice video.
I think talking around sort of, with NIAOWU, I think we pretty much got what they described, or Chobu as they called it there, and Bailu Village is Bailu Village.
What about that Nangquan Sage Master? Do we think... I was wondering if that's the guy at the top of NIAOWU in the temple. He's got the trash-stuck temple.
Yeah, or it could have been Grandmaster Bay.
Could have been Grandmaster Bay, yeah.
I guess. Do you know what's frustrating, though, is the Baisha situation.
Yeah, that siege, Warring Kingdom. Very interesting. I wonder what you had planned for that.
I wonder.
Because it all links to like that AMA question where he's saying that you're gonna see 1 horsepower as like a horse.
Yeah.
There's gonna be this siege battle, this infiltration, this Warring Kingdom style siege battle, which sounds amazing, man, doesn't it? It sounds like that would have been
really good.
That would have been, if out of the 3 areas, mate, would you have rather had that than say a Bailu or a NIAOWU? I mean, Bailu's a given, so I guess I'm saying, would you have rather have seen the Baisha aspects than the NIAOWU aspects?
Yeah, I would, just because of how built up this thing was, and maybe they could have moved things out of NIAOWU to Bailu and what they were looking to do.
Could have merged like the 2 areas, yeah.
Yeah, I think what it says to me in hindsight is that the scope of the project they had was insane. Absolutely insane, but they were obviously constrained by the money they ended up getting, which we know it's a $20 million budget, but that probably includes marketing. They lost 25% of the Kickstarter money to fees and shipping and all that stuff as well. So it's I think you can see the ambition here and what they really wanted to do, which had they had $50-60 million, they probably could have done it.
Right.
But they didn't.
I'm just reading how they worded this, and like you're saying there with the stretch goals and the budget and stuff, they're talking about working on one area before moving on to the next, and that's kind of what happened. But if you're going off of the stretch goal system, it says that's why they've grouped them together. But all the Baisha is this first 1.1 million, or 1 million.
Yeah, it's all there, isn't it?
It's kind of like they expected to work on Baisha first, really.
And we know they worked on it.
I wonder if they did work on it first.
I reckon they did.
Now that we've,
I reckon they did. I reckon they worked on it first, and then for whatever reason changed things up. Because you look at the later goals, it's all about Chobu and Bailu and all the rest.
Bailu's the last, which is very unusual, isn't it? Because that's obviously where the game's going to start. So,
it just screams at me now, and like I say, hindsight is wonderful, but it says to me that this project was massive in scope, and I think they probably underestimated how big the scope was to the budget they end up getting. And that's not a criticism, because Yu Suzuki is very much an ambitious man, and I applaud his ambition. But I just wonder if they look back, and this is why I want to post-mortem in some respects, is if they look back at this and go, right, this is what you had, this is what you were looking to do. If you could do it again, would you have scaled it back? I do think they'd say yes, because it would have allowed for a more focused experience, and they wouldn't have had to build such a wide breadth of systems and game, and I like Shenmue 3, and I will defend it, because I think what they did on the budget they had and the size of the game they made is an absolute bloody miracle. But I think the ambition of the project was far too big for the budget. And that's not a criticism. That's just something that I'm analysing and looking at, and going forward with a Shenmue 4 and potentially a similar budget, hopefully, from Shenmue 3 to 4, they will need to bear that in mind. But anyway, that's just a side point.
Yeah, so looking at the stretch goals they added Portuguese at 5.1 million, then Battle System Expanded Advanced Free Battle at 6, Battle System Expanded Ragdoll Reaction, then AI Battling, High Ground Battle System, before going into the Chobu set, and then the Bailu set, which ends at the 11 million goal, which would have been Bailu Village Expanded Magic Maze, and then question mark. So I don't know if they had more planned, or
possibly
that would have been a point where they would have had to decide what they want to do. It's just so unusual for them to start with Baisha and end with Bailu. So it has me questioning whether maybe they started working on Baisha, which is where we saw that cutscene of them showing that little bit of Baisha, and then realised, like, fucking hell, guys, we've spent 2 years on Baisha and we've not got anywhere, so we're going to have to change the game plan, and we need to. It starts in Bailu Village, so we've got to work on Bailu Village. Because I'm trying to think of the timeline. We have seen trailers of Bailu Village, but when did we see them?
Oh, was it around end of 16, 17?
Yeah,
possibly.
What, before the Monicos?
Yeah,
we saw bits and chunks of Monicos.
Screenshots, didn't we? I'm trying. We'll find out in a minute, but
so I'm wondering if maybe like the first year they spent developing the systems and working on Baisha, and then realised, like, we're going to have to speed things up here. We might have to leave Baisha till last.
It was very
and
ambitious.
then that's when we started seeing the early
very ambitious,
stuff,
especially to get this project out in 2.5 years at the time. Before, obviously, we've got all the delays, etc. It's a very interesting update, this one.
Yeah, so that's the end of the update. It's just saying that he's going to be on Twitch tomorrow for that stream that you mentioned, Matt.
Yeah.
As always, we can't thank everyone enough. So yeah, very good, very good. I think with that, Matt, we're going to have a quick musical break now.
Yes.
Because that batch of 15 took quite a while, actually. So we've got a new piece of music here from Richard Cartledge, very much a Shenmue 2 Guilin-esque sounding piece, and it's called Sunbeams in the Spring. Welcome back. That was Sunbeams in the Spring, a brand new original piece from Richard Cartledge. Love it, because it sounds like Guilin Shenmue 2, which is my favourite. It's some of the best music there as well, so great stuff, Richard. Right, let's move us into update 16 now. Very, very short one. We'll skip this pretty much, but Twitch streams going live very soon. Yu Suzuki will be on Twitch to talk Shenmue 3 in about 2 hours' time, and that's it, with the link to the Twitch channel.
Pissed on the bus.
Watching that at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. So that drags us straight into update 17, which is a recap of the Twitch stream on that Friday. And it goes through some of the most requested bits and pieces and questions. So will there be a physical reward for PS4? It's the most requested reward. The person who'd like to do it, they need to hold on, obviously need to secure that.
Ooh, so yeah, I remember it wasn't part of the Kickstarter at the time, was it?
No, it wasn't at all. It happened much later on. It was a good idea because it gave a mini boost, because I remember backing for a separate copy.
Were they like 30 quid? Were they?
Yeah, it was really cheap. Really, really cheap at the time, because especially the pound to the dollar was even better. Yeah. So that was that. How will the funding for the Kickstarter be used? There's an estimate graph on the project page. Have a look there for details. Will we see an improvement in the graphics? Talking about the Rio or
Rio's
Roy.
Face.
We call him Roy. I don't actually think he's too bad there.
It's not too bad. Just the skin colour for me.
Yeah, it's obviously still not there. And you can expect improvements. Background images for Shenmue 1 and 2. Still not happy with the model, but we'll continue making improvements. Will the original voice actors come back? Masai Matsukaze, who we know came back, and Corey are the best match. I'd like to see them back. We're currently in negotiations for them to come back, so please wait. Payments through PayPal, which is sort of standard.
Currently looking into it.
This one's interesting. Will there be a DRM version, free version for Windows PC? We're still looking to the option as well. It's not something we can decide on our own. They do not mention Steam. I'll just put that out there right now.
Windows
PC. Will there be a Shenmue 1 and 2 HD? He'd like to see them. Obviously, we got them. We're wrong to say they're not able to talk about it. They talk about the rapport system and how that's going to work. Govern Shenhua's attitude towards you. We did get that to a point, but it probably wasn't quite where they wanted it, possibly. Skill tree system, technique scrolls, how you can use them in battle right away as a QTE event. That's interesting.
So those technique scrolls will allow you to use those techniques right away in battles as a QTE event. I think they're thinking of the training thing, because you can, when you pick up a new scroll, you set them T5, don't you? And then you take them into the training.
Now,
and then you get them
I've got a question now. Were they going to have a battle system with like pop-up QTE, or like an option where you charge something up and you're smashing a QTE
actually in a fight,
batter some, just as a thought. Yeah, it's quite interesting. The Baisha stretch goals talks about the siege and infiltration, the Warring Kingdom period in Chinese. Damn, man, reading this. Damn.
Let's read this. So just going back on that last one, it says the advanced skill techniques and arcane skill techniques are managed in a tree diagram, where you fill up the tree to complete your martial arts learning. So they didn't do this. That was like a skill tree.
Yeah, it obviously moved away from that.
Modern day. So the Baisha thing.
Yeah, look at it. I mean, it says here, the 5 million stretch goal focus on the area Baisha. This will be something new and fun I would like to include for Shenmue 3. It will include the siege and infiltration events based off the Warring Kingdoms period in Chinese history. The events will be very Shenmue-like and will fit into the game naturally and not be difficult to grasp. There's also the character perspective system. It is a character change system, but in Shenmue it will work a little differently. It will allow you to play as Shenhua or Ren besides Ryo, which we know that they were doing that because there's left dialogue from Ren, which Miles Prower put up on his website, Shen Musings, if you want to go check that out.
That was in Bailu Village, right?
It was in Bailu Village.
Side quest.
The choices that Shenhua and Ren would be that different from others because their personalities. It will bring out their individual character and add another element of enjoyment to the game. There are stretch goals up to 11 million, and I would like to explain those next week. Then talks about how different Shenmue 3 will be at 3 million, 5 and 10 million. Say 3 million will be story orientated, going to 5. There'll be features not present in 1 and 2. Features you want to see, like the Warring Kingdom. See, he was on about that then. And at 10 million, the area at Chobu will get a big expansion and be like Dobuita and Yokosuka. We have lots of areas to explore and have fun. Which it was, in fairness, but they obviously sacrificed off
the Baisha
stuff for whatever reason. Is Shenmue 3 the end of the story? No, is the answer. Just not going to read that out. And when will the trial version come out? Will require many of the basic systems to be functional first. The latter half of the development process, sometime into 2017. Obviously, we know it got in 2019. Lots of questions we'd like to have answered yet. We do our best to answer them. Please keep asking away. There'll be more Q&A with Yu Suzuki to follow. Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting, this summary of the Twitch recap and how it all went down. And
well, that is Shenmue 3 the end of the story one.
Oh god.
It says here, I thought about condensing the story in 3, but I thought that it would necessitate cutting too much of the story out, so I decided to not go that route, as many fans really want to see the whole story, which is we do.
Yeah, we do, absolutely.
That's what we were passionately crying out for those 15 to 18 year long. We weren't crying for like an ending. We need to have a 1 hour anime.
Yeah.
That's what we all wanted for 15 years. We want to see what the story was hoping to take us on a bit of a journey.
This again, it just feeds into my point that I think they had all these plans and then had to change them repeatedly to match the budget they ended up having, and the scope was probably too big. But yeah, that's it's an interesting discussion point on its own.
So let's move us into update 18 now. So this is the interview with the Shenmue main character designer.
Ooh.
This is Kenji Miyawaki. So he says, hello everyone, Shenmue is a diverse and huge cast of characters, hundreds of unique personalities, each with their own story, each going about their own lives in the world of Shenmue. Giving these people shape and breathing life into them was artist and designer Kenji Miyawaki. His work with the character concepts and character design helped populate Shenmue with many of the colourful and unforgettable characters that made the story so inviting. And in today's interview, Miyawaki-san gets into how he came to work for Sega, what it was like to be involved in production of Shenmue, and elaborates on how a certain character came about. Please welcome Kenji Miyawaki. So let's watch this video now, Matt. So the top one should be English.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can maximize this one. But we'll see. 3, 2, 1, go. No, I can't.
I did. We're good.
My name's Kenji Miyawaki. When I was with Sega AM2, I did the main character design for Shenmue and drew the illustrations for Shenhua and other characters.
Legend, didn't he?
Yeah. He's drawing Ming Ming.
When I first came to Sega, there was some sort of non-disclosure agreement. So, I didn't hear anything about the actual game.
Is that old concept art, or is that new?
I was working at a bookstore specializing in manga.
I think it's new.
Dreaming of becoming a comic artist. When an acquaintance asked if I wanted to try drawing some art for a video game.
He's drawing it here, so it must be new.
I didn't know anything about the game then and asked him to tell me more. But all he said was, yeah, all I can tell you is it sounds like the game is Chinese themed. So when I actually got
this
there,
like jazzy music
thrown into this place.
Yeah.
That was like the pre-game production scenario meeting, with all the Sega directors and other team leaders gathered around. And I was there because they wanted someone to put some impromptu
This isn't a Shenmue game.
I don't know.
I think.
For the scenarios that they were laying out. At first I thought,
jukebox song.
Yeah, this job will last about a month or two. But at one of the meetings, there was this scene where the main character is traveling in Tibet with a Tibetan girl he meets there.
Interesting. So that's where your Tibet thing came from.
Asked to draw the scene.
Maybe that was the original intention.
Right there. That was actually the basis for Shenhua. Well, her name wasn't Shenhua yet. But when Yu Suzuki saw it, he really took a liking to it. I got my start when he asked me then to stay on as a designer and do the character illustrations.
Kind of makes you a bit emotional, man, doesn't it? That this is the guy that makes these characters that we loved. Just from a sketch back in the day.
There's a village that was deleted from the final version of Shenmue. The villagers all wore traditional Chinese folk
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The set was like at a Shaolin monastery. Not really all masters, but everyone's still learning martial arts. So they would all be on chin-up bars and doing other training exercises.
There you go.
As part of their daily life.
Bloody hell.
Those
The
that we
village
saw those images.
didn't really fit with the flow of the story. So, the village got cut. Everyone, including myself, was really surprised about it. But Shenmue was created as a result of just such drastic revisions. Among the characters,
where are those revisions now?
Many of them were female. But I would have to say I'm especially fond of Shuing. Shuing was imagined as a master of both the Baiji Kwang and Pigua Kan fighting styles. And on top of that was this cool and beautiful figure with a commanding presence. I pretty much had that in mind from the start. By giving her almond-shaped eyes, she came out to be very proper-looking. I had this clear picture in my mind of her dancing away at her forms on a moonlit night. So, I made her outfit bright blue like it was reflecting the moonlight.
Love it. This is gold, isn't it?
She was from the early stages on one of the first fully formed characters.
Very good.
That is
That's
really
a nice little tidbit of info on Shuing there. That's why she's in a blue outfit.
That's really, really cool.
She is one of the few characters actually that has an outfit change going from that sort of formal wear to the martial arts gown, which we love. Thank you very much, Miyawaki-san. Your art has ignited the imaginations of all Shenmue fans. We look forward to see what you have in store for us next. This artwork is almost certainly to be included in the printed art book reward, as well as with the grab bag rewards. Yes, those little cards he hand drew characters. Character art, really cool. And then you've got your 4 set of characters
Rio,
there.
Landy.
Premiere artwork.
Yeah. Banging that
Very
stuff,
good, man.
isn't it? It's really cool to see all of that. I love it's really cool.
And that was June the 29th, by the way.
Yeah.
That update.
So then we come into update 19, which is June the 30th. So they're pumping these out. And it says, when Shenmue got its name.
Okay.
So hello, everyone. We introduce Masahiro Yoshimoto, the scriptwriter for Shenmue. He's written the scripts and screenplays for film, TV, and drama. I won't read it all out completely because there's a video here which will probably explain it a darn sight better than I will. But he talks about his experience writing for and playing Shenmue and reflects that he's now being involved again. So it suggests at this point that he was obviously going to be involved. I don't know if he's in the credits for Shenmue 3.
I think this is the guy that wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
We got a completely random writer in the end.
So
which is interesting.
We'll see here anyway. So we've got a video to watch. It might be one of these jobs where we have to full screen it as we go. I'm ready to go when you are.
Right. 3, 2, 1, go. It's YouTube, actually. Here we go.
This music was in Bailu.
Yeah. First encounter with Shenmue.
I didn't even know what a video game was, really. Just some vague idea.
I love that it's the same guy.
Take some real-life thing and
fair play.
Actually put it into the game. Well, in some limited fashion anyways. Like if I was inside a castle, I'd just have to make the inside of a castle. But Shenmue taught me that wasn't the case at all. Shenmue was the first game I worked on. And using that experience, I've been able to give feedback on scene production for dramas I'm working on. Freedom is all you need. I was at a Seiyu department store and a bookstore at the time. There, Yusan says, "Hey, Yoshimoto-san, what do you think of this?" And then he wrote Shenmue and Spirit Tree. I still remember that vividly.
Nice. Spirit Tree.
The first time I heard that name, gave me chills. Thought it was a great title. A kid wants to get revenge for his old man and goes in search of his father's killer. That's the heart of it, and I felt strongly that the story should not stray from that point. There were a lot of other great ideas in there, but still I felt the main character needed to be unwavering in his convictions. Yet, when you actually play the game, all that other stuff is what makes Shenmue so interesting.
Is this the guy that
feels he
wrote
must avenge his father, but is at the capsule toy machines playing away.
11.
I think that's the humanity coming out.
Well,
Those
certainly
who
had
really want to
involvement
get
in
into
them.
it, become the character, and go straight ahead can do that. But for every gamer, there's a different way to enjoy the game. That's the really interesting aspect to it. So when I sat down to play it, I was like that. If your old man has that kind of house, he has to be a person of some character and integrity. Having grown up under a father like that, you'd probably feel rather restricted. But, without a doubt, he'd probably be very fond of him. At his dying father's last words, well, in the game, he may not have reflected on it much there, but there would be a lot going on through his head about what his father did. That would get more and more imprinted on him. And as he goes out and meets all these different people, he would come to know where he came from. With the death of his father, it would be like Ryo continuing on in his father's footsteps. To make it sound cool, that is. His brain is always working. He's seeing and thinking much farther ahead of someone like me.
Talking about Yu Suzuki now.
When we are having a meeting, I often feel like that. I'm not the type to be adversarial with people. I want to make something that will make other people happy. There are probably millions of people playing games because of Yu-san. If Yu-san says, "Hey, this is pretty interesting," I think they'll be happy too. I don't know what gamers want, where their compass is pointed. If I make something and Yu-san is happy with it, it must be good. If it isn't, it'll show on his face, and you'll know it's boring, and the players will think it's boring too. That's kind of how our relationship stands. When I first became involved with Shenmue, I'd just celebrated my 40th birthday. It was at the Sega offices with a few of us there.
40th? Back in 99?
Bloody hell.
At that time, I didn't think I'd changed at
That's what
all,
it means.
but I probably had changed. Now, 17 years, 15 years having passed until Shenmue 3, I've probably changed even more.
So he's
I
in his
had
60s
no
now.
intention of that happening, but with each line I wrote, yeah, it changed me. I think about it, and I couldn't tell you how, but I'm excited to test it and see for myself. I'm ready to be part of it again. It's like meeting myself as I was 15 years ago. It should be a really nice opportunity. It's definitely not TV work. It's being asked to play the same person in a part you did before. Being able to do something you did 15 years earlier should be an invaluable experience.
So he's definitely coming from a mindset of, I'm working on Shenmue 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
The way he was talking towards the end then.
what happened afterwards, I don't know. And actually, this again feeds into it's an interesting point he's made around that the Shenmue story. Obviously, he wanted to keep that quite focused around Ryo's quest, but it's all the things around it that make Shenmue what Shenmue is: the world, the environment, the characters, the side stuff. And if again, I don't want to shit on Shenmue 3, but as a point here that, and I've said this before, I think Shenmue 3 is the basic script of the journey without that side stuff, because they obviously didn't have the time or the money to put that in.
And you don't know if it's in that order as well. So the reason why it could feel like copy and paste from Bailu NIAOWU is maybe NIAOWU was like a completely different section where that took place.
Possibly.
There's going to be a fight where Ryo loses.
It's
the one after each other. That's why it feels like that. Maybe
it's a very interesting topic, actually. Very, very interesting topic. And yeah, I think again it just feeds into what I was saying about the scope, but it then comes down again.
What happened to this guy?
I don't know. I'd be very interested. We might have to do a bit of Googling and hunting, I think. It just says, thank you so much for helping bring Shenmue story to life. Coming up, heard the request for additional rewards. They're in the works as we speak. Thanks for the great ideas. And there are more behind-the-scenes interviews with Shenmue project members on the way, so stay tuned. So there's a lot of this sort of stuff going through, which I love it. I really enjoy this stuff.
I'm absolutely loving this because these videos I probably haven't watched since
I haven't.
day dot, so it's kind of like I'm learning stuff again for the first time.
Really cool.
Right. So moving into update 20 now, it says Corey Marshall is back for 3. So they did actually say they wanted to try and get Matsukaze and Corey back. It felt like Matsukaze was already there because they had an interview with him saying he's back or whatever. But Corey Marshall probably at this stage was up in the air. And obviously all the fans were shouting for Corey. All the fans were shouting for Eric. We wanted the original voice cast back. And this was posted on July the 1st. It says, just in, Corey Marshall, the actor who did the English voice acting for the main character Ryo in Shenmue 1 and 2, is now confirmed for Shenmue 3. The support for Mr. Marshall to reprise his role has been just overwhelming. We'd all like to thank Corey for coming back, and especially for all the support he's given to Shenmue over the years. Corey is as excited for Shenmue's return as we all are, and to help out, he has magnanimously...
Yeah, magnanimously.
Okay, offered his voice for a special reward. Yes, that's right. Get a personal message from Ryo, which was a 1,000 reward tier, and we do actually have that on our YouTube channel as well, right? That message, or
we do. Chow
it is on YouTube. Chow, yeah. If you want to hear what that message actually came to be, at the time I felt like it was going to be a personalised one, but it seemed like it was more of a general message for all those backers, and it also included the $500 reward. And it's going to be included in the rewards 2K and up. So still ahead late this week, we have some highly anticipated rewards in the works and almost ready to go up, so keep it here. So they're still planning more extra rewards like this. What's Shenmue? The finishing touches are being put out on our new video to help spread the good word of Shenmue, and I think this is the video that Jibby worked on, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
So probably liaising with Jibby, and Jibby was saying it's nearly finished, so they said we're putting the finishing touches perhaps. There have been lots of great ideas and fun videos already out there, and we'd like to use them all if we could, but we have some great footage on the way to let everyone know about our favourite video game of all time. So they're kind of relying on the fans to help out as well. Hashtag Save Shenmue, tweetathon on Twitter on the 3rd. Every 3rd of the month has traditionally been the day to show your support for Shenmue 3. To celebrate the final question mark Save Shenmue tweetathon this Friday, the 3rd of July, Yu Suzuki will be joining in to tweet along with you. Hashtag YouAskYou. As part of the festivities, he will also be taking questions this week to be answered Friday, the 3rd of July 2015 at 7 p.m. from your Twitter account. You can tweet to Yu Suzuki by including that hashtag. So again, another little interaction Q&A with Yu Suzuki. I don't know if we ever get the results in one of these updates, but it could be another show, Matt, going back through all these
it could easily
Q&As and Twitters and seeing exactly every single thing he said, maybe. Might make a good show.
Absolutely crazy. Obviously, Save Shenmue became Save Shenmue HD, didn't it? And then
for a little bit,
what transpired from that
until
one.
We got there.
So then we come into update 21 to the sea and the continent beyond. It says, hello everyone. The power of Shenmue's music was undoubtedly one of the big reasons that made the Shenmue series such a memorable experience. One of the men responsible for this great achievement is Ryuji Aiuchi, the composer of Shenhua's theme, has pulled out all our heartstrings with his songs, actually putting us there in the world of Shenmue. And now he's back for Shenmue 3 to help take us into that world once again. Let's give a big standing ovation for Ryuji Aiuchi. And then again, there's a couple of videos here.
Absolute legend.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's been brilliant with the dojo as well, it must be said.
Yes, really, really good. Right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, I'm Ryuji Aiuchi, creator of the Shenmue theme song.
And many others.
Yes.
Composing songs for Shenmue.
What's left the biggest impression with me is the sheer amount of songs I wrote. Most games are fairly standard and have a set number of stages, needing a song for this or that scene. But in the case of Shenmue, the volume of work was so large I couldn't get my head around it. So many different ideas kept popping into my head how to fit what song to where. I just had to start somewhere and do it. I composed over 100 songs myself. And with Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 combined, there were over 800 songs in total.
800 in total.
I remember just marveling at how many songs we made.
Just for 1 and 2, you said?
When I was supposed to compose Shenhua's song, as with all the songs, Yusan started by giving me some key words. In this case, I think it was a curious-looking young girl living in the forest. After that came the concept drawings and the setting descriptions. Once her world was laid out for me, I took all that back to my booth, my production area at Sega. I put on my headphones and began composing. The song was about a strange little girl living in the forest. So already live
really
drums
cool
and
artwork,
guitars
that.
were out. We were not at the stage yet where other songs were already
I
together.
have to go back and screenshot that one.
So for most of the parts and the
Really
instruments,
cool.
I remember being free to do whatever I felt best fit. I keep looking on the net to see what Shenmue has been up to.
On the
And
dojo.
people around the world on YouTube and video sites
I love that artwork.
are playing the piano
Yeah,
or
me too.
violin to that music. I'm just so glad I could make those songs because there's so many people who still embrace the music like that. With this project now, it's been 14 years since Shenmue 2 came out, and the technology has advanced so far in that time. From the creator side, so many new possibilities have opened up to fully express what you want to do. If they're allowed to let loose and really show off, I think everyone can expect great things.
He's talking about the music there, right?
Yeah.
For Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
Which again, another guy that didn't end up being a part of the team.
Was it? No. I know they reused a lot of music, and obviously that's a cost-saving measure. And when you work for a company and you compose tracks, it's the company who own the rights, not you. So, and that would have been in his contract at the time, I would imagine. So that's probably why he wasn't credited. On top of whether he thought he was going to be composing new music and they choose not to use him, I don't know. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame. But yeah, there's more to that story, I think.
He's still going strong. If you go on his official website there, he's currently on a tour by the looks of it. Touring around doing music and stuff. I don't know if he plays Shenmue music. Perhaps he does. But actually got some CDs of Ryuji Ichi's work that aren't Shenmue, if you know what I mean. Just his standard. He actually released a couple of albums as well that are really, really nice to listen to if you like his body of music there. Definitely try and check him out on, he's got a website there, which is literally just www.ryujiichi.com.
Fair play to him that he's kept active, and he was streaming Shenmue 1 and 2 a couple of years ago, wasn't he? And and it was very kind that he signed some items for the dojo giveaways and things. So yeah, I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but we've got a lot of time for him, haven't we?
Definitely. Magic weather warning, what's that? There will be a storm of updates on the way, so bring your umbrella with you tomorrow. Okay.
Interesting.
Right. So, shall we move on?
Yeah.
So, update 22, changing the game, an interview with Hiroki Takeuchi. Hello, everyone. Yu Suzuki's power of imagination and the genius to bring it all together has manifested itself time and time again with every work of art he's produced. His vision for the future of entertainment, the concept that was Shenmue, was to fuse movies, video games, and digital and analog media of all stripes in order to create a world where you could truly become someone else and live that life. That vision undeniably lives on in hearts and souls of so many games that came after it. Hiroki Takeuchi believes we all see the same visionary greatness from Yu Suzuki this time around with Shenmue 3. The renowned animation pioneer and digital content authority will be teaming up with Yu Suzuki again as animation producer for Shenmue 3. We actually do see quite a lot of him, don't we? Actually, he did the final Twitch stream with him as well, and a lot of the videos since. His work on the original Shenmue as an animation advisor helped Yu Suzuki realize that vision to merge animation and cinematics together with video games. What makes Shenmue so important? How has Yu Suzuki impacted the future of entertainment? He answers these questions like no one else can. So please welcome Hiroaki Takeuchi. So another video to watch here.
Yeah.
He's actually quite prominent in the Shenmue documentary, isn't he, Adam Sippy?
Yeah, he's in it quite a bit.
Yeah. Right, Matt. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Hiroaki Takeuchi. I'm an animation producer. Some of my representative work includes The Animatrix, based off the American film The Matrix. Another would be my privately produced Voices of a Distant Star, which we did with a very small crew. I've also done a diverse range of Japanese animation titles.
Involvement with Shenmue's production.
I first had the pleasure of getting involved when I was asked to bring a crew together to do Shenmue's concept digital animation.
He is credited in Shenmue 3
Our job
as a project
was to
advisory.
visually represent the
Anything with
ideas
animation? No.
that were in Yusan's
Let's have a
head.
look.
So first we did some videos. Then the next step was to do the work of taking those videos to expand and solidify the direction of the game. Unlike movies or animation,
Project Advisory
participated
Committee
in
with
video
Ryan
games.
Payton.
and through your various interactions, that world then gradually unfolds. That is what we needed to accomplish, how to bring it to that form.
I'd have done that job
Being an
for free.
animation producer,
Yeah.
I felt I could contribute to that from the viewpoint of animation and video. It was like that pretty much the whole time.
First
When I and the
impressions
rest of the
Shenmue.
staff first started, the complete realization of what Shenmue was to be was still all in Yu Suzuki's head. So our start line was how to begin sharing that with everybody. Yu-san and I have been working together for quite a while now, but Shenmue was the first time we were producing something together that closely. I was extremely interested in this man, Yu Suzuki, how he turns his vision, his inspiration into something tangible, his process that is creating a video game. In all of my years in the world I've known, he was a different artist from all of the rest. He has all of these qualities, that artistic process, that creative energy, that imagination. Without a doubt, he takes the top place in all the people I know. His work is absolutely gripping.
Looks like he's been
Electrifying.
IKEA behind him there, Matt.
Most people
It does
know
a bit, doesn't it?
Yu Suzuki's name is synonymous with Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter was born, and then after it started to take on a life of its own. The creation of Shenmue became Yusan's first real foray into the home console games.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, especially
From
from the
Yusan, this
arcade
concept
background.
of Shenmue was created. Now we call it open world. But back then we were calling it free.
Yeah,
It was
true.
to be the future, the direction of movies and comics. Virtua Fighter was much the same. Up until then, fighting games were experienced in 2D. It was about the beauty of the visuals and the animation, the brilliance of the picture. What Yu Suzuki did with Virtua Fighter, though, is to bring in a sense of reality to the game. When you were fighting, you felt the pain, the strength of the punch through that game device. It was part of you. This is 3D, a world created there inside the console. That is Yu Suzuki. He creates those other worlds. Yu-san often said it when we were in development. Don't you want to be someone else, to live that life? Not this life you're living right now, but what if you were reborn into a different life? What would you want to do? I remember him saying that, how Shenmue was to paint that picture.
Being reborn.
I believe the conventions of open world games today came from this idea, this construct that Yu Suzuki had formulated. The first time I met Yu-san, I was actually working at Shueisha, the publishing house. They published Dragon Ball and Weekly Young Jump, the manga magazine.
Okay.
I was a member since the second year of their founding. Yu-san had then made Virtua Racing the masterpiece driving game. We were to make the strategy guide for it. And at the time, I was really into arcade games and was playing Virtua Racing at the arcades quite a bit. I really wanted to know who made this revolutionary game, and from that interest, I got to meet him. When I did actually meet him, he was very courteous and exceptionally friendly. Not to
I
be
think they
glib
are really
about
good
it.
friends these
Yeah,
days.
they are.
I
aren't
won't
they?
forget it. Because the more we talked, I knew he was that half step, that step ahead. He had a decided vision for creating the next world in gaming. I think the reason Yu Suzuki's games are interesting is because he himself is always enjoying life. Inside him, the games he wants to create and his vision for himself are one and the same. Yu Suzuki's personal life and his work life are a perpetual whole. That is why he can always come up with the next new thing. That something we have never seen before. Since then, I have always wanted to know what Yu-san is thinking, what he will do next, which is different from the industry as a whole, even though I keep my eye on them as well. What I expect from Shenmue 3 is not just what is in the game or its system, but rather the ideas and the thought that will make it up. I think we'll be seeing the next incarnation of Yu Suzuki, and I can guarantee we'll all be there for the anticipation and excitement.
Hyping it up.
Yeah, bigging it up, bigging it up. It's quite cool though, hearing that and like some of the backstory there. I quite like that.
Yeah, not too bad at all. What else? He's got a website as well for his complete list of his work, in case you were interested. And the Save Shenmue tweetathon is almost upon us, so please send a tweet with the hashtag Save Shenmue.
His website still works. It's still there.
Check.
Yeah, it's still there. Animation producer, visiting professor. Yeah, he's very much.
Does it mention Shenmue anywhere?
It mentions Sega in his sort of bio. Shenmue, yeah, it's all there.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, very good indeed. Again, very, very interesting update there. There's a lot of videos, isn't there? But I love it. I absolutely love it.
There is a lot of videos, yeah, but I think we're getting into the nitty-gritty perhaps now.
Yeah, definitely. That brings us on to update 23, July the 3rd, 2015. Greetings, Shenmuers. So, who wants to be in Shenmue 3? Here is your chance to get in the game and be a Shenmue superstar. Also, more dinner parties with Yu Suzuki have been added, one in Monaco and one in LA, Dying with the Legend. The LA one, I never heard much about that, like who went on that or anything.
Yeah, who did go on that one?
So if anybody listens to this, went on that, drop us a line, because I'm interested to see.
I think I've seen some pictures thinking about it. Maybe. Yeah. Not sure thinking about it, whether I've seen anything of the LA one.
So, I am Shenmue 3, $1,500. Be immortalized in the world of Shenmue with your picture in the harbour waiting area for the Chobu passenger boat. Plus, your name will appear in the guest register at Chobu Inn. Show the world how Shenmue you are, includes a $500 reward, limit of 64. I think this is the stuff that ended up in the Safe Shenmue building.
Yeah, this is the one I backed, actually.
And the guest book in the hotel. I got this for free.
This that was amazing. But this was the update that like really pulled at my wallet, man. I think I was at 300 for the capsule toy set and all that sort of stuff, and then this update came out, and I was like, oh, that would be like so amazing to have a photo in Shenmue 3.
And it's worth every now having.
Oh mate, 100%. It was worth every penny.
Now I'd back it in a heartbeat. Obviously, I wouldn't go silly, but yeah, I'd back it in a heartbeat. And then you've got the Beer Lucky Hit game board at 4,000. Sami Malik did one, if I remember correctly. And
yeah, he did.
Name elude me. I think there's about 3 or 4 of them. It's quite funny seeing that random face on a board there. You get the
it wasn't too bad actually.
As well. Yeah, it was all right, actually.
It works, actually. It's not too bad.
Be a Shenmue 3 NPC. Your face will be featured on a achievement member to do battle with Ryo. To maintain character setting, body, and style will be up to Mr. Yu Suzuki. You'll also be named as a special sponsor in the credits and includes the voice.
That's a crazy one, isn't it?
Because Joe Kitchen got this.
So well, not this one, because this is the Chi Men one, isn't it? You got the slightly cheaper one.
The slightly cheaper one?
I think it was only like 8K or something for the...
You see him flexing, don't you?
Yeah.
In the hotel. And you've got the dinner with Yu Suzuki and the replica jacket. The Monaco dinner, which Chow went on. I do need to talk to Chow about that. I was going to get him on the show to talk about it. We haven't got around to organising it.
That'd be a good interview.
It will. They'll be named special backer, etc. End of February 2016. That sounds like it was around Magic Monaco time.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
And then the LA one, which, as I said, this is for June 2016. So I'd imagine that might have been around E3 2016.
Yeah, that works out, I think. They did base them around where Yu Suzuki would actually be. So I'm thinking, so the Japan one was at the end of 2015 then? Was that the first one to be done?
I thought it was 16, early 16, but Peter would know the dates.
It could be then. It could be January, but I'm just thinking. I feel like it was before the Monaco dinner.
I thought it was before the Monaco one. I could be wrong.
Would put it either January or 2015. So
yeah. And then it just takes us down to the Shenmue 3 third festivities have begun, and get on Twitter and start tweeting as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, Matt. So let's move into update 24 now. So this is where we got the first confirmation of the PlayStation 4 physical reward. So hello backers, Shenmue fans, and PS4 gamers. The Shenmue 3 Kickstarter proudly announces the addition of the PlayStation 4 physical copy reward. And like you say, Matt, this is when we got a nice little boost to the earnings as people went from their $30 or $40, whatever it was, digital pledge, all the way to the $60 physical edition that came with a special backer edition sleeve.
It did, and that sleeve that's on that picture is the sleeve you get.
Yeah.
It's the exact same.
Exactly. So if people were expecting a steel book or something, yeah, even the picture doesn't show that, so there was no real reason to complain.
Anyway.
I'm surprised they didn't complain that the Shenmue 3 box art was different there, Matt.
Somebody did in the media.
Did they?
Somebody did, and it got called out on Twitter going, "It's placeholder, mate. What the fuck?"
That's ridiculous. So yeah, this is one of the most requested items on the list, and we're happy to be able to include the Shenmue 3 PS4 Kickstarter backer edition as a reward. If you're a Shenmue fan and a PS4 gamer, this is a reward to have commemorate the occasion. So at the time, this felt like the only way to get a physical, didn't it, at the time?
At the time, yeah.
Yeah. So all backers pledging for a $60 reward tier or higher will have the option of a PS4 physical copy of their platform of choice. After the Kickstarter finishes, a survey will be sent out to the backers in these tiers to confirm your choice of platform. Choose one of the following: PS4 physical, a PS4 digital, a Windows PC physical, or a Windows PC digital. So this is the announcement of the PC physical then?
Yeah, and the fact that it wasn't Steam at that point anyway.
Yeah. Backers who have pledged for a PC physical copy will not need to adjust their rewards if they would prefer a PS4 physical instead. Just a reminder that the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter will be offering only one copy of the game per backer, trial version excluded. Mm-hmm. Thanks to all backers for your comments and suggestions to help make this happen. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, an apology from Awesome Japan. We offer answers serious apologies for last week's Twitch broadcast and any trouble it may have caused. So that was apologising for the Joel nerves.
I know on our old forums it got hammered, and I do remember some of it thinking it was a bit, but I'm going to stand up for Joel here. I don't think it was as bad as people make it out.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad at all.
I really don't. And Joel was clearly nervous.
I don't think it deserved an apology.
It probably wasn't as they envisaged it, and people went off a fucking cliff in some respects. Now, I'm not against people being criticism constructively, but some of it was plain nasty.
Yeah, uncalled for,
and that's not right.
Like, I understand there was like some funny moments which you can have a laugh and a joke about. Mimi,
he does. Joel does now.
Even he does himself, yeah. But the way that apology sounds there, as though like he feels kind of embarrassed. Which I don't think he needed to be, actually. I think what we did got was a pretty good little interview anyway. He did. It was just quite funny, slapping on the white glove and having the drink of Fanta and stuff.
I thought it was quite funny, but and I've spoke to Joel about it, and we were joking that if he ever came on the show, I'd have to do a video of me and him cracking open some Fanta.
Why not, eh? But then, like you say, mate, interesting. No mention of Steam, so I don't know. Yeah. People have just got these expectations that weren't even warranted.
Yeah, absolutely. So, moving on from that, we're now at update 25, July the 6th. I am Shenmue 3 additional rewards and the hashtag #YouAskYou recap. So we do get the recap, which is, I think we anticipated might come that way.
Oh, shit, man, this is massive.
Yeah, so this is a good one. So, first off, it goes through the more I Am Shenmue rewards have been added for Shenmue fans across the world. There are lots of comments from the European Shenmue community saying they were all gone. Sorry for sticking them in where you sleep. There's still plenty of space in the harbour for your pictures. And I do remember a lot of things popping up online overnight, and they were gone instantly. And that would have annoyed me more had I had more money at the time, looking at some of the backer tiers that were there at the time.
Yeah. This was it started as only maximum 64.
Yeah, and they obviously
increased it, did they?
Yeah. They said thank you for everyone participating in the tweetathon. Every day Shenmue Day, so keep your tweets coming. And then we go straight into the You Ask You tweetathon.
Right.
So
we don't need to do a separate podcast now.
No. So question 1, were there originally 16 chapters or were there 11? Please elaborate as to why some say 16, some say 11. The answer is the document I have has 11 chapters. If you include chapters prepared for the branch storyline, it will be more than 11. So that's where that comes from.
Okay.
Is there any chance we can carry on pledging after Kickstarter date? They're going to look into it. At 5 million, how open world would it be compared to 1 and 2? He said similar to Dubwita in scale. Question 4. Now that we know that Shenmue 3 will not end the story, do you have a backup plan if it won't succeed to tell the end? Answer, I'm going to have to think about having a successor. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I was talking about a succession plan with somebody today, in fact, about Shenmue. Now to see that's interesting.
So do you think he's already got an idea or he had a plan?
Confirms in my head that there's something there, which reassures me.
And you've got to think the end of Shenmue 3 with the message he wants to continue to, it sounds like it's going to happen rather than not from that message, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So then coming on to, will Shenmue have online functionality like high scores or 75-man battle? We said it'd be more fun, but depends on the budget. Completely understand that. We got Battle Rally, which was fairly close, I guess.
Just not online.
Yeah, just not online. Question 6, be disappointed if it doesn't raise 10 million. No, I won't be. I'll be grateful. There's another chance for a new Shenmue. I'll make what I can with what I get from your money. Question 7, will the Tiger Scroll be translated? And he says, a great idea. I'll look into it. So it's almost like he forgot. I don't know.
And maybe forgot again because it wasn't.
For Ria Hazuki's model and others, you're going to reuse models and general assets from Shenmue 1 and 2. The answer is I don't plan to reuse them, but I plan to use the good parts as a reference. Now, they didn't have any reference to any source code or anything for Shenmue 1 and 2, so that would have been really challenging at that point.
Yep.
This is interesting. Why don't you think Shenmue appealed to a mass audience back then? Would it need to be modernized for today? He says there were many new challenges, so that might be the reason. Even so, I will do more new challenges this time. Challenge is what's important.
He likes a good challenge.
Can we expect the return of the prize lottery in Shenmue 3? May the first prize can be a figure of Yu Suzuki. I'd like to include raffles, but I only think about the prizes, and he does have that big statue of him.
He says I need to think about prizes that are more appealing than my figure.
Yes. Will there be more dinners offered at the 10k tier? He said we just added them today. Will you research the latest tech and AI to include Shenmue 3 to make it a pioneer game? Is it predecessors? Yes, I'd like to do challenges in terms of technology. Obviously difficult with the budget they had. Is there a possibility to film a production process, for example, mocap dubbing during the development of Shenmue 3? And he said, yes, I want to use it to communicate the progress to you. And we got the documentary as well.
Okay.
So there we go on that front. Will Coca-Cola join the party? I'm considering collaboration like that with real companies. That obviously didn't really happen, although we saw some Sega IP and bits and pieces in the game itself.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea if Sega's planning on doing a VF6, Virtual Fighter 6? He's not heard from them about it. So that's interesting. That's been asked that far back.
Well, that was like 8 years ago now.
16, what can you tell me with 3 blades? It's about the scissors, razors, and knives. Barber, cook, and sewer.
These are skills for jobs that I was studying in my year. I love how he's like so serious. Like that was obviously a joke question.
It says here, well, there's a little hint left in the video. Will Rio now be able to jump in Shenmue 3? Yes, I'm researching about new technology to have more natural motions, but he doesn't jump, does he, in 3?
No.
My 10-year-old daughter wants to know if she'll be able to use the phone at will in Shenmue 3 like she does in Shenmue 1. The answer is look forward for it. There were many nostalgic scenes, maybe a tin can telephone as well. We did get telephone, didn't we, with the calls?
Yeah, tin can telephone. I wonder, how they had that telephone booth in Bailu? Is he considering a sort of rustic telephone sort of thing going on there? There's another booth the other side of Bailu where they communicate through like tin cans. Do you know what I mean? Like you go to a science museum, someone speaks through a cup on a string.
In future installments of Shenmue become a possibility, will we have the option to bring the save data over from 3? He hasn't decided it yet. There's a lot of questions here. 20. Can we expect epic fights like Kowloon in Shenmue 2 and a similar battle fight system? There is a battle system expanded in the stretch goal. This will enhance the battle to make it better and more fun than Shenmue 2. But he doesn't talk about the VF engine there, interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
So we were probably making assumptions at that point it was coming back. Obviously, it didn't. Have you ever thought about making each future chapter after Shenmue 3 expansion that expands the chapters one by one,
like an episode based
episodic, which prompted quite a response to my video? I must be said. I'm not considering it at the moment. I wonder if he is now. That's a question. Will we start Shenmue 3 some item skill scrolls from 1 and 2? The platform is different, so we can't do it. But what they did do is they had all the items, the key items through, and a lot of the moves that had already been learnt were already in the skill set to begin with, I guess.
Yeah, for the most part.
So there we are. Should we expect any Sega-related stuff in 3, like arcade games or toy capsules? There's a possibility.
Kind of. The logo on the arcade, on the capsule machines.
Like a Saturn kicking around as well.
Yeah, true.
24, were there any gameplay elements from 1 and 2 that had to be cut due to budget? Yes, I want to make the ramen noodles to be soggy after some time, but I couldn't include it. I remember that quote. I wanted to include details to make it real. Will the Shenmue trial be used for feedback to improve the game, like Square Enix have done with Final Fantasy 15? I would definitely want to get feedback, so I'm looking into how we can have such a system in place. I don't quite know how that...
It wasn't really, was it?
It was near.
It was too close.
Yeah. Will everything be voice acted the same way, or budget constraints not allow it? He said full voicing will be possible if we have enough funding, which we got.
Nice. I'm glad they stuck to that.
Would love to hear Mandarin voice acting alongside Japanese. Could we make it a stretch goal? Under consideration. What is the IQ of Fukusan? 86.
Has he been serious again?
Yeah.
I love it.
I was wondering, did you get the name Ryo Hazuki from Ryodo Uzaki, the Japanese musician? Nope.
There you go. There's your one word Yu Suzuki reply.
That's a GIF, that is. My question is, why is it not possible to use Shenmue Passport model for Shenmue 3? I'm considering adding some functions from Shenmue Passport, but we know that he didn't get any of the code for that or anything of the sort. Will there be official Shenmue 3 Kickstarter for us to discuss and give feedback through the development process? I definitely want to get feedback. So look at how we can have such a system in place. It was the dojo, pretty much, or Twitter. Can we expect custom clothing for Rio? It'd be a great feature to allow Rio to style as we want. And they did do that. There's a function to change Rio's jacket at $250 and above, so they did have it. Why was the dragon mirror under a cherry tree and not a safe place like the basement? WoW thought it was safer under the tree.
True.
This is where we got the martial arts event bit from. Where did Rio get his band-aid? This is the martial arts tournament. It didn't appear in chapter 1, but there was a martial arts event and he got the scar from the final match.
Yeah,
obviously, in the anime, Chai gives it to him. What is your favourite movie? He says Hustler, Casablanca, Roman Holiday. I love billiards and still play it sometimes. Will Shenmue 3 be compatible with the Project Morpheus VR headset for this ultimate life experience? He just said VR offers great possibilities.
Morpheus. What was that at the time? Was that the original name of the Oculus, was it?
Possibly. God, this is a big update. Will there be a pet dog in Shenmue 3 to call, look and feed? Depends on budget.
Okay.
Shenmue's core plot is basically Hamlet. Are you a Shenmue fan and has this been influenced?
Shakespeare fan.
He says, I've not read Hamlet, but I know Hamtaro, though.
Interesting.
What did Yu Suzuki name the kitten? I think I named her with dog names like Pochi or Gontaro, so none of the names that are there.
I love it.
How was your day? Today's Shenmue Day. I went to be with everybody on Twitter. Lots of people participated. I couldn't be happier. The rewards went over well. Completely sold out. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Will we see a Shenmue soda? Can just be a can? And what will it taste like? If there's any interested beverage firm out there, please contact Wisenet is the answer.
Oh, we should have pushed that. We could have had Rubicon.
Massive. Will Rio learn the value of forgiveness in 3? Please play Shenmue 3 for the answer. Do you have a rough idea how many people would develop a team for Shenmue 3? That will vary on the budget. Since relationships between characters will be more prominent, will we see something like a multiple choice conversation system? I'm thinking about a dialogue selection system that is there to a point with the Shenhua stuff, at least, or Shenhua stuff rather. I'm nearly there. 45. I always wondered how Rio, being Japanese, could communicate so easily in China. Can Rio speak Chinese? The answer, that's a touchy subject. Let's not touch it, shall we?
Basically, his other answer was it's a game, right?
yeah, it's a game, get over it. Although in the anime, he has his little phrase book and can speak a bit of Mandarin.
True. That is true.
Can you confirm that guns will never be a part of the Shenmue gameplay, not for Ryo or any other playable character? No, it's definitely not including guns. Will he be able to eat and have bodily functions? I don't have any plans for implementing that in Shenmue 3.
Interesting.
But he did.
He did. Will Ryo finally eat?
Why does Ryo have Saturn under his TV in Shenmue 1 but no games? Was WoW using the promise of a game to keep Ryo focused? Answer, that sounds about right. We'll go with that.
So he does get games.
Idea. He does. Mr. Suzuki, what's your favourite kind of music? Jazz and rock. Why does WoW love carrots so much? Yes, it's his favourite food is carrots. 51, can you please says little info about Shenhua that the fans don't already know? We did know this. The Shenmue tree's flower is named Shenhua. She's named after the flower. And then we sort of go through the Japanese translations as well. It's quite a cool little, long update, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in there.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think that might be a good point to have a little break after that, Matt. Let you rest your vocal cords for a moment. So we're going to have a little break now with the latest track from the Kitchen Brothers. What's this one called, Matt? You told me earlier.
Oh, it's Rain in Stand Quarter.
Rain in Stand Quarter. Welcome back. That was Rain in the Stand Quarter from the Kitchen Brothers. Awesome piece of music there. Coming out with these original pieces left, right, and centre. Bloody all these Shenmue fans, Richard Cartledge's, Kitchen Brothers. Hats off to them, man. Love it, love it.
I know, mental, absolutely mental. Like, and yeah, thank you to both Richard and George and Joe for letting us put the music on the podcast. Every time we ask, they always say yes. So thank you, guys.
Definitely. Hopefully you enjoyed those guys. Right, moving into update 26 now, and man, we've got a long way to go here, Matt. So
Jesus,
this could be a bloody 10-part series the way we're going here.
Yeah.
So update 26 for the fans by the fans. Hello everyone. It's been a long 14 years that fans have been waiting for a Shenmue sequel, but in that time a vibrant community grew, creating, sharing and keeping the faith. Because you have been there, even after all this time, we have the opportunity to be here today, and for that we cannot thank you enough. So today, to introduce some of the members that have made the Shenmue community what it is today, totally kick-ass, see what being a Shenmue fan is all about. And this is where looks like they've linked all of the community groups. So we've got a forum that is it's the Facebook group, the 500k. It's the heart of the community. News, they've got us Team U, all the news you need from Team U. Videos, they've got link to Zimming there, which, of course, would that have been the dojo at the time?
That would have been the dojo channel at the time.
Yeah, so the most comprehensive Shenmue YouTube channel. Microblog, we've got Shenmue Fans.
That's Zimming's Twitter bit, I think.
Okay.
Anyway.
Pictures is the Facebook group for Shenmue Master, which another website that's still ticking, I think, Shenmue Master.
Yeah, still going, still running.
Definitely still going. Hardcore Discussions is the dojo there, so we did make the list there, Matt. If it's Shenmue, it's here.
There's some interesting links there.
Team U, he's holding a...
Oh, I remember that.
We have Team U to thank for starting this Save Shenmue movement. What is all that on the actual card there, Matt? These little dots?
I can't really see, but it's like little images and things. Although it might be country flags, actually. It looks like
it could be. Yeah, you're right.
And we do, in fairness, Team U were instrumental in the hashtag Save Shenmue movement. Absolutely 100%. Instrumental in that.
100%. Great stuff. And then we've got Johnny Kwan, who is an artist and Shenmue fan. He's made these super outstanding banners. We might have to contact this dude for Shenmue World, mate, because these are sick.
Yeah, damn.
These awesome banners. I love that top one, actually, with the tree.
Really, really cool.
Definitely check those out, guys. We'll put them on the video footage. Next, we would like to introduce our special guest for today. Many of you will know him for all the work as the admin of 500k, Shenmue 500k, special coordinator at Team U, and a veteran contributor at Shenmue Dojo, as Ikkyu or as Ali. Wherever you know him from, Ali Novan has been the pillar of the Shenmue community since the very beginning, helping to bring Shenmue fans together in a united movement. For his meticulous works and actions above and beyond the Call of Duty, Yu Suzuki has bestowed Novan-san with the title of Executive Shenmue Ambassador. So give Ali a big thanks as he shares what Shenmue means to him. So we're going to watch this video, Matt?
Yeah, we'll watch it. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, wood chopping music.
Nice. There he is, doing some martial arts. So first encounter with Shenmue.
For me, Shenmue, the culture of this experience is really special. So the first time I started playing this game, I felt like deeply connected spiritually. Not just because of the trigger that the storyline gives at the beginning, but also when I left the Hazuki residence, the environment, the atmosphere, I felt like this is so real. This is like something special. I want more of this world. So as I stepped further, I discovered this game is all about introducing you to cultures, different cultures. Within Shenmue, I learned you gotta be open to all the cultures from different parts of the world, because every culture might have a hidden gem.
I'm not sure.
Special.
It's very same sort of style, isn't it?
Shenmue 1 introduced me to Japan's culture. Shenmue 2 introduced me to Chinese culture. And this is more about the culture for me. And also I got to martial arts, study about martial arts, research about martial arts, see how valuable they are. And on the other side, the design of Shenmue in terms of an interactive entertainment software is really special because it keeps you entertained, but it's not like a very fast, quick game. It's like gradual process, just like life. It's not about losing and winning all the time. Sometimes it's just about making progress and learn things along your way. So that's really special to me. And it inspired me to also get interested in the game design, game art. For me, this is like a Shenmue culture, and Shenmue, the video game, complete experience. My best memories from Shenmue 1 probably was making money.
You can actually see who's filming them in the mirror there.
Yeah.
And then getting a job, going on time, leaving on time. I really enjoyed that. And within Shenmue 2, I really loved the fist fighting. So it was just so interactive. When I play the fist fighting, my arms get tired. I really
think he means the arm wrestling?
The mini games in Shenmue 2.
Yeah, he must do. Yeah,
but then again, it's all
must
about
do.
the narrative, the story that kept me want to care about this game. It's not just an open world game. It's the fact that it has a narrative that keeps me going for it. Otherwise, there are too many open world games that doesn't drag me as much. So I can save my best memories forever, but this just too. So this is something we all
Message
been waiting for the past 15 years. And it brought many people from all over the world
Japan
together
team,
online,
I think, filming.
on these communities,
Yeah, I'd have
websites,
thought so.
forums, campaigns, social media, YouTube, and I really want the fan base, the community, to show that, yeah, we've been waiting for this, and show all the love, support by sharing the word about this campaign, about the Kickstarter, about the crowdfunding. Tell everyone, tell your friends, tell your family, tell
Yu Suzuki in the
people who
background.
you know are going to enjoy such rich experience, such rich interactive experience. So I really want the people to share the news and trust and have faith in the creator of Shenmue. He's going to deliver. If you put the trust, if you support, he's going to give it back.
I think he was quite nervous. He could.
Yeah,
tell
I mean, to be
like,
fair, it's quite a
yeah,
big deal, isn't it? In fairness,
it's a big deal. But it looked like they were kind of like not coaching him, but sort of coaxing him a little bit, perhaps to help him with his confidence there. But yeah, nice little message from Ali.
Yeah,
It's the executive Shenmue ambassador, the title that he was given here. So I just want to give a big shout out to all of them. Sorry if you can't name it, but keep it short. But Shenmue Dojo 500k and Team E plus Shenmue Master and the Japanese community over at Mixi. Let's not forget Shenmue-UK and Hazuki Dojo and Shenmue Japanese BBS, who have been able to somehow survive all these years waiting for this day. And a little mention there to Kyu-san from the dojo.
yeah.
Tip about Mixi, yeah. That was the Japanese member we had, wasn't it?
Yeah, it pops in still now and again, which is cool.
Yep. We believe in Yu Suzuki and that he can deliver the best experience once again. Please make sure to share a word about the Kickstarter anywhere and everywhere that you can with your love, creativity, and respect for the series and help make Suzuki-san's vision a reality. And then you've got some links there to Ali, Shenmue Fan Works. Not sure what that is. There's that another one of his accounts. Best Shenmue Awesomeness.
I'll have a look at them because I can't log into Twitter off of here.
Yeah, but there's a few links there at the bottom, Matt, there. Not sure what they are. But yeah, not a bad update. Little fan-centered update there.
There we go. So then we come on to update number 27, more awards. Here we go. So hello everyone. 2 new rewards have been added to the lineup. Both of these will bring you closer to the world of Shenmue and help you enjoy the Shenmue experience. The first one is the $80 Shenmue 3 World Telecom phone card, which was bloody brilliant. Some of those conversations to phone home were absolutely fantastic. I know people criticised some of the voices, but still.
That was an exciting announcement, actually.
It was still good, and I loved it. Called Nozomi, Guizang, Ine-san, Joy, Fuku-san, and other characters from Shenmue 1 and 2.
Amazing.
It's unlocked phone conversation flashbacks only available to Kickstarter backers, and it absolutely did.
It does actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's all there.
I mean, like how exclusive it is, because there's obviously the regular in-game ones, but if you picked up this tier, there's a second batch.
Yeah, and we haven't documented them all yet, but I'm sure we will.
We will do.
All higher awards, the Shenmue 3 World Telecom in it. In the $800 tier, the Oriental tradition of marking a pilgrimage to the temple by affixing one's name to the building. Your name will appear on a Chobu temple in Chinese characters. They absolutely did this as well.
Yeah.
Characters with your name approved by Yu Suzuki himself. Find your name tag on the temple and receive a special technique scroll with a PDF of your name. The scroll doesn't.
I've always wondered about that.
Did people get the PDF of your name in characters?
Yeah, they probably did, but I'm just wondering, the technique scroll, is that linked to your backer ID, though? Like, if you do find your name on the board. Because it is that is that temple at the top of NIAOWU, that one.
Yeah.
You go in the back room and there's those sticker-looking things all across the wall.
Yeah,
you can look at them and read them. And that's where you can find an extra little Chobu-chan actually on one of them. But yeah, I just wondered if one of them did link to a move. I never found out about that.
Possibly, I don't. They may have changed it. I don't know. You have to find out. You get the PDF and you get the $500 reward as well. So it's a short update, short and sweet, but a couple of really good rewards in there.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Moving on to update 28 now, and this is main character designer Kenji Miyawaki part 2. So this will be a nice video to watch, actually. So it says, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Shenmue fans. Kenji Miyawaki is back for the second part of his interview for one look back and one look forward. Kenji talks about how Ryo's character got his fashion sense and explains the mysterious character on the canvas. Ooh. That's that Mimi. So this is going to be very interesting, isn't it? Or Ming, sorry.
Ming, yeah.
Mimi's the cat. Right, so 3, 2, 1, go.
My name's Kenji Miyawaki.
I love this music.
Yeah. Designing Ryo Azuki.
I think I can finally talk about this now. Initially, this project was an RPG of Akira from Virtua Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
The original design for Ryo came from one of the many old portraits of Akira, with him wearing jeans and a t-shirt.
Ah, that one we've seen where he's got the armbands.
Looking over the design I had made with Ryo in jeans
not here,
and
actually.
a white t-shirt
and
the
armbands.
bag over his
one
shoulder,
arm.
we all thought it was a little too plain. Considering the time and place, we didn't want him overly loud or cool. And after giving
And
some
also
more
if it's
thought
cold,
how his
he's in
character
the
should
t-shirt.
look,
Yeah,
we put that leather
roaming
jacket
around
on him.
at Christmas
and
in a t-shirt, and that's
was.
it.
With
There
the
you go.
period background
So much
in
better
mind,
with the jacket.
He does, doesn't
even
he?
if it didn't look that cool, it was still a rather common look for people to have back then.
Iconic with the jacket.
So
I like it.
there
Definitely
was
brings the
that
character
kind
to
of
life, in my opinion.
throwback feel to finish off his design. This is Ming Ming. She appears after Shenmue 2.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I have a lot of myself invested in her as well.
So is she a big
She's
character?
free-spirited and
Seems that way, doesn't
very
it?
upfront. Somewhat different from the other female characters in the Shenmue and Shenmue 2, which were mostly well-behaved. She's expressive, sometimes reckless, but full of life.
I'd love to see that, you know.
Plus,
I would.
her story
Shenmue
gets
4,
tied up
Shenmue
with
4.
Ryo's. And on top of all that, she knows
Niaosun,
martial
is it?
arts.
Another name for Niaosun.
She has the
Not that I'm
potential to
aware
be
of.
one of the more appealing characters.
I could be wrong.
I keep hoping she'll find her way onto the game screen someday.
Well, he's describing him as a good
Shenmue
character,
is
by
the
the sounds
one
of it.
title in my life that I have the strongest personal attachment to. And was very sorry to see it come to a premature end. Personally, I don't think I can die in peace until the next Shenmue comes out.
Good man.
I'm so
Yeah.
looking forward to this sequel.
Hopefully it means Shenmue 4 now.
For the opportunity
Yeah.
to draw a whole lot of great new characters
And
and
they already had a load of character art.
share
didn't they,
them
for-
with
I
all
know,
of
it's
the
mad,
Shenmue
isn't it?
fans out there. I hope you'll get excited.
So
Very
cool.
good.
Love that stuff. Talking about
I do.
characters that didn't even end up in Shenmue 3.
I know, and it's like
Madness.
he's hoping she ends up on a screen sometime soon. So was she even planned for Shenmue 3?
God knows,
We're
man.
just
Maybe-
assuming she was.
We are assuming like Baisha, but he did say there that he hopes one day she will appear on the screen. So it's like it's not confirming. It's like this is just a character who's working on that could appear in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
So brings us then into update 29. Dreams come true. More new rewards.
Mhm.
They keep fucking pumping these out. We're on July the 8th now, so we're quite a way in. So hello again, everyone. Put your stamp on the game with these rewards. Yu Suzuki want to include both these rewards as they draw from culture and traditions at the Far East in which the game takes place. So $1,400, dreams come true. Choose one of 3 wishes. Your name and birthday will be written on a traditional wishing plaque to be displayed at a temple in Bailu Village, which they did get.
Yep, themers.
And find your plaque and your wish will come true. Kickstarter only exclusive. $500 reward is included.
Mm-hmm.
Temple of the Blooming Flower. Get a Chinese character of your choice or selected for you to represent yourself, drawn in ornate calligraphy. Find your character displayed at the Temple of the Blooming Flower and get a special technique scroll. Get the physical hand-drawn calligraphy of your character. Includes a Shenmue Patron reward as well.
I love that. That's kind of another reward I was debating and getting, but I think they include a 1,800 one a little bit later that's sort of like it includes that and something else. But I always quite like the idea of getting this hand-drawn calligraphy.
It's cool, isn't it? And
it's cool.
Yeah.
I just couldn't work that between that and the photo. The photo had more appeal to me.
And I can see exactly why it would have done from a personal standpoint.
Yeah.
Which then brings us on to update 30.
Update 30, so July the 9th as well. More Shenmue than Shenmue. So Shenmue salutations. I love how they start these updates. When Shenmue first came out, it was more real, more lifelike than any game to have come before it. One of the people responsible for that feat was architect Manabu Takimoto. As the game environment designer for the Shenmue series, his real-life experiences as an architect helped create an immersive world that set the standard for realism in gaming. Today, Manabu Takimoto talks about his roles in Shenmue and what we can expect from him this time around. Let's give him a big warm welcome. So, Matt, let's hop straight into this. 3, 2, 1, go.
My name is Manabu Takimoto, and I am an architect. I've designed
New
office
music, or is
buildings,
that one that we've heard?
residences, hotels, bars,
In a previous
restaurants,
update.
I'm not sure.
and the occasional zoo. A lot of
I
things.
like it.
It's lovely.
Involvement with Shenmue's development.
My relationship with Shenmue begins with Yusan's pursuit of reality for the game. After all, even virtual worlds have buildings. And where there are buildings, there are people in them moving around, living their lives. So I became involved to put actual structures in, which made a lot of sense. Making everything as real as possible was probably the biggest thing that we needed to hit home. And that wouldn't happen with new, shiny buildings everywhere. That meant the houses had to have the right amount of dirtiness to look their age and have that lived-in feeling to them. It was not about making them nice looking. It needed that smell, like real people were living there.
Remind me of his name, I'll Google it.
It needed to sizzle in that way. And our number one priority was to make sure that would come across.
Hang on.
Yes, I do appear in the game.
Manabu
just along
Takimoto.
for the ride, as it were. I got in there along with the production crew, and it just so happened I ended up at a construction site. In the game, I mean.
He's talking about that Shenmue 1 construction
There's some
site.
information you can get there. And I'm there with some unfolded blueprints like this, looking perplexed. They got me to look just how I normally do, and that was another part of that pursuit of reality. There was actually a scene with me where I get to talk to you as part of a quest.
He is in the credits.
Okay.
There are plenty of people out there that can go from
lead
1 to
environment
2
artist.
or 100
Very
to
cool.
1,000. But from someone to start at 0 and create something from nothing, there are very few people like that. That is his greatest talent, his genius. As the architectural designer, I will be doing only one thing. That is to make realistic buildings, to bring out the real of the now. There were things we could not fully realize before, but are able to now. Now it's changed from the pursuit of reality to reality as a matter of course. So now it plays an even more important role. It has progressed to where the colors are that much more vivid, and even the minutest of details get their due.
He's got.
I know.
Even more smell, as it were. To get where you even think you can smell something like the foulness of a sewage ditch. I could not be happier that Yu Suzuki will finally be doing Shenmue 3. Over 10 years have passed since Shenmue was made. And now, we are here again to bring it back with new capabilities in hand, better techniques, better technology. I think it will be truly great. Let's share this thrill together.
Very good. Very good.
Very enthusiastic, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And there he is in the game there in Shenmue 1. A little bit of a side point there. If you saw Kitchen Brothers' latest video, you know, I think it's the one with Megumi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They've got a scene where she's older, like 18 or something. And
yes, they do.
They actually filled in the construction site with a building complex.
They did. It's very clever.
Detail. Very good to see that. So it says, Takemoto-san will be back for Shenmue 3 working on the game that is not in it. Many belated condolences for your cat, by the way. Okay. He's already hard at work designing the layouts for Shenmue 3, and this is where we got the very early artwork here. So
stuff. Yeah.
What looked like a smaller Chobu or NIAOWU at the time, more of a pier and docks and just a small sort of harbour town. And then we've got the Chobu Inn, which obviously is kind of similar to how Hotel NIAOWU was set up with the rooms, and you've got the dining. You can see the dining room in the top right corner. It's kind of like how it is in the game when you walk through. You got the desk
very much
there,
so.
and that sort of table there, and the toilets down this end, and that sort of stuff. And last image is a picture of the room. Maybe not like that with the hanging things over the beds. But yeah, you can kind of see they were going for this sort of maybe a little bit more rurally type looking room than
not too dissimilar.
But that's that, Matt. So we've reached about 3 hours there, Matt. So I think we might be best to wrap this up and save this for part 2. So we managed to make it to update 30. I do assume that the later updates are going to be smaller and quicker and snappier and less video orientated, but I honestly can't remember, so they could be like another 104. It could be a 5-part series, mate, so I don't know.
Well, if it is, it is.
If it is, it is. It's really entertaining, actually. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm learning a lot of stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed that dip into the history laws of Shenmue 3 there, the Kickstarter page. What date are we on here, actually, Matt? Was that last update?
It's like July the 10th or something,
July the 9th, that was. So, yeah, so we're about 3 weeks into the Kickstarter going live. So, closing in on that final week where things started to pick up a bit more pace again. So, yeah, next show we'll continue where we left off there and delve into the next batch of at least 30. But, yeah, good stuff, Matt. So, we're going to end as normal with a nice piece of music. This is from Ryuji Yuchi. It's his Winter Sunset song. This he kind of dedicated this to Roger Swan. Very awesome piece of music. Sounds like Shenmue music. I'm sure you'll agree once you hear it if you've never heard this before. So with that, brings us to a close. So guys, thank you very much for continuing to support the dojo, listening to all the shows. Where can they find us, Matt?
So you can find us over on YouTube, Shenmue Dojo VOD. It's where this will be found, and all the video streams, etc. we put out will be on there. Twitter, Shenmue_Dojo. Facebook, Shenmue Dojo. Instagram, Shenmue Dojo. Twitch, Shenmue Dojo. And everywhere else in between you'll find us as well. But guys, thank you so much for sticking around for this bumper show. It's going to be a bumper few shows, I reckon, given the amount of updates we've got. But it's always a pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for engaging in all the content. And we'll be back in the not too distant future, guys. Have a good one. Take care.
Take care, guys. See you later.
Oh, look at the time.